What is up? We are back live, ladies and gentlemen, for a Milan news. And we are going to be discussing a bunch of things. Right now, Milan are going to be playing against Juventus on Sunday. We saw Milan play against Benevento. We have a Champions League today coming up. Tomorrow, then Roma gets to go play their tennis match on Thursday, where we're going to get another 6 or 7 goals. It's pretty tough, guys. Pretty tough week ahead for AC Milan. Let's see what happens. We might have some, maybe Ari is going to join us later on. I think Laert is going to be joining us later on. And then I'm going to open the lines up for everybody later on, too. But we got to discuss a few things here. So the first thing I want to actually just talk about is just Pioli. Pioli. A lot of discussion has been happening around Pioli, whether or not he is doing a good job or not. Jean Maria, what is up, my friend? Jamario. How you doing, my friend? If you want to join, here is the link. So this
that was not his fault. I mean,
this
we give up something over to counterattack. What is the guy supposed to do?
This week has been pretty tough. Also, I have seen the difference between Leao left wing and Leao center forward. We saw it this week, and that's the first thing I want to discuss. That's the first thing I want to really talk about. The difference between having Leao on the right to having Leao on the left. Sorry, Leao on the center to Leao on the left. I want to think that Pioli is just going through a bad spell. It's like soccer players go up and down in form, right? You have times where soccer players are going to have a shitty week, a shitty month. I mean, let's look at Romagnoli. Antonio, I'm going to be opening the lines in a bit for anybody who wants to come up. I'm going to do 1v1s or one-on-ones today. Just give me 1 second. Soon you can come up and we can have a little discussion. But I just want to say my regards on Pioli. All right, I just think he's had a shitty month. He's had a shitty month, and that's what it comes down to. Maybe 2 shitty months, just like Romagnoli had those shitty weeks. Pioli had a shitty month. But let's just look at Leao. The difference between Leao starting on the left as opposed to starting from the center. And what does that mean as far as Rebic goes when he's on the pitch? So first of all, Leao is not a player that is capable of controlling the ball close to his feet. Close ball control. That's what we call it. Close ball control, right? So Pioli has made this huge mistake, in my opinion, to insist on Leao being here in the center. Now, we saw against Benevento how Ibra interprets that role. Forza Milan. How Ibra interprets the role. So what Ibra does is very interesting. What Ibra does in this position is very interesting. Ibra does what Pirlo used to do. Here, Pirlo used to do the regista, the director over here, but Ibra does it here. So Ibra acts like an offensive director, a regista offensivo. That's what we call them in Italian. He's not necessarily a number 10, not necessarily a number 9, a number 11, a number 7. He's just a regista. He's like, he's basically glue. What Ibra is capable of doing, just with one stop, and directing the ball into space, one shimmy of a shoulder, one pass, and just that one pass opens up the channels for the next 5 passes, right? This is what a regista does. A regista controls the tempo of the action. A regista controls how the play is going to go. A regista gives the team a way to relax on the ball, right? But in order to do that, you have to be extraordinarily technically proficient, 1. You have to be tactically proficient, 2. You have to be physically proficient, 3. That's just for regista. Plus, Ibra is an attacker, so he can create the assist, he can create the crosses, and he can score the goals anyway. Ibra can score header, volleys, short tap-ins, shots from outside the box. It doesn't matter. Ibra can do it all right? So when we don't have Ibra, which is a thing that has been happening a lot, even though he had that interview in which he said, hey, people underestimate me because I'm old. Well, Ibra, you are old. No offense to people that are that age. I am close to that age too. But, your age has shown. The fact that you have not played for more than half the season. By the way, Ibra has played 18 games in Serie A and scored 15 goals, okay? So his numbers are extraordinary. But, 18 games is not what you want your first striker to be at. You want him to be at 20 games. At this point, 30 games, 28 games by the end of the season. So Ibra might end this season having played just 22 games if he plays all 4 games left, which is not good at all. But the question has been, what do we do when Ibra is out? And Pioli has been making this crazy decision, which I don't understand, is to put Leao in that position, right? You want Leao to do what Ibra does, or emulate what Ibra does. So Leao is not even 1% of what Ibra is as a soccer player. You cannot ask Leao to do what Ibra does. As a matter of fact, you're just creating confusion. But now this is something that I can talk out of experience. When you do have a player like Ibra, let's say Ibra plays for 7, 10, 11, 12 games in a row, and his style of play, dictates and creates a certain formula that all the players latch onto, and they kind of understand, and they know. But this is something that I have also experienced with in my coaching. If you take out Ibra, the next day, the team will still kind of play as if Ibra is there. They will still kind of play that kind of style, where they're going to slow down offensively, they're going to be very precise, or they're going to be very efficient. The 1-2s are going to work, or they're going to play. Everything is going to work, right? But let's say now it's 2 games without Ibra, okay? So now things start to slow down. Now they're not playing exactly the same. But when Ibra was there, the Ibra effect is starting to fade away. Then it's 3 games. Then it's 4 games. Then it's 5 games. At the 4th, 5th game, Ibra tactical impact on the team is absolutely dissipated. And now the coach has to rely on all the other players. And the other players now have to create this new, let's say, tactical system. And his decision of putting Leao as a center forward has absolutely cost us these 3 months. I understand people are like, hey, we got to give him some slack and all that. But guys, nobody gave Romagnoli any fucking slack. Romagnoli's head was literally on a spike in front of the piazza, in front of the Duomo. Okay. Romagnoli, the captain of the team, his head, people wanted to literally murder this man, poor guy. So why are we being so soft with Pioli when he makes mistakes, visible mistakes? Anyway, that is my Pioli rant. Let's see what our friends are saying. It seems there are problems between Ibra and other Milan players like Chala, Benajasa. Well, look, no matter what, Ibra is always going to have problems with players. All right, Ibra he has a big ego. He's the kind of guy in the locker room that is going to bully everybody. He's going to always talk, louder than everybody else. He's going to probably make fun of some players. I remember when when Ibra was in his first stint in Milan, he was targeting Abate. Right, Abate was his guy that he was targeting. So this thing about Chala being offended because Ibra talks shit. That's what he does. I think I don't even give that any importance, to be honest with you. I don't give it absolutely any importance. But I do think Çalhanoğlu is starting. Now he's up to 4 goals, which is pretty bad for an attacking midfielder. I did think Çalhanoğlu played a decent game against Benevento. This position suits him very well. He does connect, the double pivot to the 3 attackers very well. I personally am of the belief that Çalhanoğlu does have what it takes to become, an important player. Whether or not he's going to do that in Milan, I don't know, and honestly, I don't care. We will. It's all to be seen. It's all to be seen. But the important thing to me is just keep Leao out of that fucking center. Put him on the left and let him play on the left. And now let me show you why the left works for Leao. First thing, on the wing, you do not need close touch control. It is unnecessary because the wing, there's much more space, right? If you are on the wing, what is your scope? Your scope is a 180 scope. It's not a 360 scope. Look at the difference. When you're in the center, your scope of play is 360 degrees, all right? That's why you need close control, because you have no outlets. It's just you and the ball, and everybody is around you. So it's one thing if you receive a ball in this area and you're surrounded by 4 players, kind of like a rondo, right? A rondo is that training where you have 4 players around and you have the player in the middle. But what if you are the player in the middle with the ball? You have to have a technical precision, ability to keep that ball close to your feet and then pass it into the channels or pass it through the channels, right? Very precision-based football. This is surgical football. So that's why it is necessary. And not only that, but in this area, you're not even getting clean balls. You're getting dirty, sweaty balls. You're getting dirty, sweaty balls. So you have to be able to control that ball. Like, let's say if a ball comes to your chest, you need to bring that ball down to your chest, onto your foot, in the space of 1 second, less than a second. You already have to know what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, and then make a decisive play. You have to be in full control of the action at all time in that area of the field. We're talking about absolute. Let's see what these guys say. I feel like Benevento gave us the 3 points. I'm still not convinced. Forza Milan, vincerai. 8-0. So you have to be an absolute beast in order to play center forward. But now there's a difference. There's a difference. What is the difference? playing on the left. What is the difference between playing center forward and playing on the left? Okay. So let's say you are in this position here. Well, guess what? You don't have players attacking you from behind. There's no players attacking you from here. So you don't even need to worry about what's going on behind you. All you need to know is that there's a line there and you can't cross that line. But there's no legs coming from that area. There's no bodies coming to push you off the ball from that area. So on the wing, you have a little bit more time to touch, control the ball. And what is Leao good at? His speed. Leao can push the ball away from him and chase the ball. Well, this is perfect. You give the ball to Leao over here. All he needs to do is touch the ball. He can spend. This is the difference. In this area, you have about 2 to 3 seconds most. That's a lot. 1, 2, 3. Those are 3 seconds, guys. 3 seconds on the ball is a lot in football. All right. But in that area, you do have that time. You do have that time because what's happening here? When you receive the ball here, you have the outlet coming here. So you receive. This guy can cover this area. This guy can. If he covers him here, then the striker can meet him here, and that's an easy pass. But if he covers him here, and what defenders usually do, which is cover those middle channels, what can Leao do? Leao can just stay on the ball, pass it back to Theo, or pass it back to Chala, and then just manage the ball. Just play patient football. But here you don't have that ability. You don't have the time. You can't do that there. Here it's all one. That's it. That's all you get. You get 1 second. You get 1 second to make a decision. And if you don't do it right, then it's a counterattack. Then the fans are gonna mess up. Now, if we put Rebic in this position, all right, he's not Ibra, but he's 27 years old. He's a little bit older. He's mature. Physically is more mature. And this is another thing, a very big misconception about football, because a lot of people look at it in terms of contracts, in terms of value. But a 21-year-old is not as strong as a 30-year-old. Okay? A 30-year-old is going to be stronger than a 21-year-old. A 29-year-old is stronger physically. Now, speed-wise, maybe, yeah, even burst. Maybe when it comes to sprint and long sprint, like 100-meter sprint, maybe a 20-year-old, 21-year-old might have the advantage. But in a short burst sprint, 30-year-olds, 29-year-olds, 31, 32, 33, 34, these players are stronger than 21 years old. Don't think that because you're 21 or 22, 23, you're stronger than a 30-year-old. That's not how it works. This is not how it works, okay? People see, oh, well, that 21-year-old is worth 100 million, and that 30-year-old is worth 10 million. Therefore, the 100 million player is obviously stronger, faster, and whatnot. No, that's just business long term. The price value of a player has absolutely no say in how physically a player develops. Okay? If you put a 21-year-old to do the work of a player that should be physically already fit, physically prepared, it's never going to work. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. So these are mistakes I'm seeing that are being made. And I can't just be quiet. I can't just be like, okay, yeah, whatever, I have to say something. If we're going to put Romagnoli's head on a spike because he messed up 3 games, I have the fucking right to say Pioli's making a mess out of this team for the past 2 or 3 months. Oh, mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia. Will you say when we should join the stream things, or should we join now? Will you say when we should join? What? I have no idea what you're saying there. Can we win against Juve? Also, if Juve has much pressure on the referees. Yeah, Juve. Well, this is the thing. All right? I am not worried about this side of the pitch, okay? This side of the pitch, I am not worried about. For me, everything, let's take away this half right here, the offensive half. Let's just focus on this side. Whether it's Romagnoli or Chiar here, it doesn't matter. It's the same. Or Romagnoli, or it doesn't matter which combination it is. The defense, to me, Calabria should be back now. He's already had a bunch of his injury wasn't even that bad at the end of the day, but Calabria should be at least close to match fitness, if not fit. Then you have, the Tonali Benacer thing over here. Benacer is taking forever to get his match fitness. I think he did come out of the Benevento game. He did get a yellow card. I think that was either a precaution or there was some problem with physically. We don't know. Benacer is struggling right now to gain match fitness. Even though when he does play, we do see Milan control the game and hold the ball. As a matter of fact, if you don't know, but Milan's passing precision in the last game was in the 90% range. Okay, usually a really good team is in the 80%, high to mid 80s, but Milan's possession passing precision was in the 90%. So, Benacer is doing his job. Tonali is doing his job. Tonali, is having a great game. I don't think whether it's going to be Tonali or Benacer, it doesn't matter. Both players are going to come with it. This side of the pitch does not scare me, does not worry me. I'm 100% confident that this side of the pitch can deal with Juventus. Okay, the problem is that we got to win. All right, there are 4 games left. And 2 of these games are against 2 opponents that are fighting for the same position. So now, thank the Lord or whoever you pray to or whatever. Thank that Ibra is back and he is going to be able to create that organization. Having Ibra create that organization and being that offensive regista gives me confidence that Milan has a chance. But if Ibra was not there, and if I saw fucking Leao as a center forward, I'd be so angry. I'd buy a ticket to Milanello and just smack Pioli in the back of the head. All right. Now, if we get to see Rebic, if we get to see this formation against Juventus, I think it's our best formation. All right. It is our best formation. If we get to see this formation here, I don't know. I am assuming Pioli is going to go with Benacer because Benacer is the starter. And since Pioli has started Benacer ever since Benacer has been back, we only have to assume that Benacer is going to be the starter. Tomori is going to be the starter. I do have things to say about Tomori. Tomori is making a lot of silly mistakes, guys. Tomori is making a lot of silly mistakes. Okay. I see what you're saying. Hold on, let me respond to you. A game against Juve referees always plays against us. We'll see it this coming game, but we will be always Milan, and I hope we will come home with 3 points. Inshallah, Forza Milan. Will you let us know when you will talk? Yes, I will let you know, guys. I will let you know when that time comes. Yeah. Now it's too much weak. We need next year Vlahovic. Lord Humongous, Vlahovic. Vlahovic has 19 goals, which is pretty good. I gotta say, he's pretty good. 19 goals. I'm not a big fan of Vlahovic. I would like to have someone that can do more what Ibra does, which is that offensive regista, that director of play. That's why I'm always going to go more for a Belotti than a Vlahovic. Belotti is more Belotti is more capable of doing the assist, of playing with the midfielders, of dribbling, of running with the ball, going to the side, crosses. Vlahovic is more of a number 9. Vlahovic is a pure number 9. He lives in this area of the field. He's strong. He's physically strong. See, the difference between Vlahovic and see, if Vlahovic is in this kind of position here, right, and he gets the ball, what does Vlahovic do? He's a big guy, but he shields the ball. He shields the ball with his back. He controls the ball, and then he looks for the outlet. But what Vlahovic is not going to do is going to like maybe do a cool little dribble and then do a killer pass through the channels. Vlahovic is just like a target. He's a perfect target player. He's a target man. That's it. You use your you use his offensive physicality at your advantage. But that's it. If a team is not Vlahovic, the problem with Vlahovic is that if a team is not playing well and the ball doesn't go to Vlahovic, then you're never going to see him. You're never going to see him. It's like he's not there. If we have a player that is more capable with his feet, that can dribble, that can cross, that can just play that offensive regista, offensive director kind of game, I think it's better. But, hey, I don't make the market. It's Maldini and Co. They're the ones that dictate how the market goes. If they think that the team is good enough to succeed with a Vlahovic, with that kind of striker, so be it. Okay. But anyway, going back to Milan Juve, if Milan were to play like this, exactly like this, maybe take Romagnoli out and put Kjaer, because that's probably what's going to happen, seeing the situation with Romagnoli, which I don't agree with. Romagnoli is the captain of a team. He should be playing. But if if Kjaer, let's say this is the defensive line, that gives me confidence. If this is the midfield, Kessie Benacer Chala, that gives me confidence. If Rebic is on this side of the pitch, that gives me confidence. Salah, Ibra, this team can beat any team in Italy, all right? But now, obviously, it depends on how well their physical attributes are. Vasquez, in my opinion, he'll be a nice. Yeah, Vasquez would be a great signing. Vasquez could play both on this side here where Calabria is, and he can play. So Vasquez is similar to Salah, as in the fact that Salah makers can also play two positions. Vasquez can also play two positions, but obviously Vasquez with immense amount more quality. I gotta give it to Salamakers. Salamakers has found his rhythm back, has found his footing back. Salamakers, I have nothing negative to say about this player. So good for him. He definitely deserves to stay in the team for one more year to prove his worth, and maybe, who knows, further. But anyway, if we're playing against Juve with this formation, I'm confident. And then if we lose, well, fuck, we lose. What are we gonna do? But if we play with this formation and Pioli doesn't, what Pioli now, honestly, okay, check this out. I've been saying, Pioli needs to change stuff, okay? He needs to figure stuff out. He needs to make adjustments. I was wrong, okay? I admit I was wrong. Do not make any adjustments. Because every time you made some sort of adjustment, like against Sassuolo with that 4-2-2-2, it didn't work. Just play with what you got, with what you know. At this point, I'm going to say that. Just play with what you know. Let the players do the job. Let the players make it happen. All Pioli needs to do is put the players in the right spots. That's it. And then, the players are going to do the rest. Now, let me just, before we move on, I do want to say something else about Pioli. Okay? I do want to say something else about Pioli. Just so anybody knows where I stand as far as Pioli goes. When Pioli came into Milan, I was like, no, what, really? I mean, okay, he's better than Gianpaolo, but, really, Pioli? I mean, Pioli, I've no, who doesn't know? We've seen Pioli work forever. But, I wasn't that happy that Pioli came. I thought Gattuso was better than Pioli, but Pioli was better than Gianpaolo, is better than Gianpaolo. But then Pioli definitely surprised me. He definitely changed my mind. Because what he did between 2020 to the end of 2020, pretty much, but that whole till the end of the mid-season of the 2021. He did an excellent job. I can't say anything negative about him. He did an excellent job. The way he managed the team, the way he motivated the players, he guessed the formation. The formation was spot on. Okay, the formation was spot on. But then all of a sudden, you start to lose players, and you have to start to make changes. You have to start to, create new solutions. And that's where we saw some of his weaknesses. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to say that he's not perfect. But I'm going to say this. I have not given up on Pioli. As a matter of fact, I think that if Pioli makes it to the top four, it'd be kind of fucked up if they sack him, for making the top four. I think he would deserve to stay another season. I know some people don't agree with me there. Some people do agree with me. But if he does make it in the top four, he deserves to stay another season. I think it's kind of messed up if he achieves the objective and then they sack him. I'm not so for that. But I'm saying I'm open about Pioli. If the guy wins, if the guy makes it in the top four, hey, objective secured. Pioli, you did a great job. Now, in that process, you made a few mistakes and you pissed me off a little bit, but I haven't given up on you, sir. I still believe in you. I still believe you have what it takes. I see what Maldini saw in you. And by the way, when we talk about Gattuso and Pioli, what is the difference between Gattuso and Pioli and then the middleman, the people in the middle, Gazidis, Milan, Maldini, and all those people? Is why did they get rid of Gattuso and got a coach like Giampaolo, and then after Giampaolo, they got a coach like Pioli? What is the difference between Gattuso, Giampaolo, and Pioli? Giampaolo and Pioli are both yes men, right? They're going to be like, yes, yes, sir. Oh, okay, you want me to do that? Yes, sir, no problem. Yes, yes. Gattuso's not like that. We know Gattuso's not like that. And I'm not saying that, yes man or no man are any different. It all depends on the chemistry of the team, on the people, on the staff. But it seems to me like Maldini and co are more interested to having these, yes men that are not so much character driven. They're more about, in Italian we call them aziendalisti, so people that really focus on the let's say the corporate, the business, the aspect of it. While Gattuso is more like, hey, I'm the captain of the ship. If the ship goes down, I'm the first person to go down with the ship. He's that kind of, he's a pirate. Gattuso's a pirate. Maldini doesn't like pirates. Maldini likes yes men. Maybe that's something, that I don't think that will necessarily hurt us, but that is something to think about, just to ponder. Antonio says, Salah deserves to stay, but as a bench player, we need someone more clinical. Yes, I would love to have Berardi on that wing. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, guys. Imagine if we had Berardi right here. Wow. The wet dreams. What do you think about Donnarumma? Do you want him? Yes, I definitely want Donnarumma to stay in Milan, for sure. Donnarumma is a Milanista. He's unfortunately, he has a shit agent, and he's young, and he's being influenced by this agent of his. I think that Raiola's brand of agency is not going to last long, because one thing that Raiola is doing absolutely wrong is that he's creating a chasm between the fans and the player. Like Raiola is a shark. He's very smart when it comes to negotiating and manipulating negotiations, but he's not very good at creating that relationship between the player and the fans, because that is extraordinarily important. The fans need to love the player. If the fans love the player performs. If the fans hate the player, the psychological impact on that player will be hurt. So Raiola is making mistakes. Raiola is a great at negotiating. He's a great eye for talent. He has all the best talents. Well, him and Mendes, they both have all the best talents. But look at Mendes. How come Mendes never makes the headlines? Right? Mendes right now is known to be the #1 agent in the world. He won the same way they have the Ballon d'Or for players, they have the whatever the fucking contract pen player of the whatever. I don't even know what the fuck it is. But Mendes got it, but we never hear Mendes. We never see his players on the news. We never see his players go against the fans. With Raiola, it's always like that. It's Donnarumma, Balotelli, Romagnoli, um, whoever else, Bonaventura, and then Pogba with Juventus, Haaland, all his players. He's always there in the media. He's a media whore. Always in the fucking media creating chaos. We don't want that. We don't need that. Milan doesn't. It's an extra distraction that we don't need. So let me criticize Raiola too. All right, let's go. Hello, Roy. What's up? Good to see you. Hey, what's up, Eastbourne? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you back, but it's been a shitty week for Milan fans. Our Merda cousins are... Oh, yes, right. I forgot about that. I didn't even think about that. That is actually something to think about. Fabian. Yeah, Fabian too. He's a very interesting player. Either Fabian Berardi, they're kind of similar. Fabian maybe has more experience, much more international experience. Isbor, Inter Conte, Juventus Allegri, probably Atalanta Gasperini, Napoli Sarri, Spalletti, Roma Mourinho. Interesting. While for Milan, we need to watch Pioli with a 4-2-3-1 formation a whole season. It's painful. And and this is the other thing that we have to talk about this. I know it's kind of a shitty subject, but it is something that we need to talk about. And Eastbourne, you bring out a great point. Inter have Conte. Conte is in the last 10 years, one of the best Italian coaches as far as the Serie A goes. Debate me on that. Try tell me he's not one of the best coaches that Italy has produced in the past 10 years. No. You can't debate me on that because he is. Allegri. If Allegri comes in, Allegri has won with Milan, with Juventus. Gasperini has shown to be quite the coach with Atalanta. I mean, if anything, if Atalanta is playing the way Atalanta is playing, what are you saying? Mourinho is official? Wow, amazing. Okay, all right, okay, so yeah. So Isborn, you bring up a great point. Pioli has to go against Conte, probably Allegri, Gasperini, Sarri or Spalletti, and Mourinho. How the fuck are we going to compete against these coaches? Okay, there's a difference between Leao and Ibra, right? Let me ask you something. If you are you're doing a game, right? You're doing a pickup game during the week, and you're selecting players, and it's your first pick. You win the rock paper scissors. Okay, now I go first. Who are you going to pick? If Ibra or Leao is your center forward, you're going to obviously pick Ibra, right? Because you're smart. You want to win. You're going to pick Ibra. Now let's do the same thing here. Let's say you're doing the same thing with Conte, Allegri, Gasperini, Sarri, Spalletti, Mourinho, and Pioli. Who is the first one you're going to pick? Is it going to be Pioli? No. It's not going to be Pioli. Is the second one you're going to pick Pioli? No. Is it the third one? No. Is it the fourth one? No. It's the last one. All right. Again, I am not anti-Pioli. All right? I am not anti-Pioli. I think that Pioli does have... Eventually, the flower is going to bloom. Eventually, you would hope. He surprised me. I gotta admit, because when Pioli came to Milan, I was like, "What? No, not Pioli." But he surprised me. I'm leaving the door open for another surprise. Okay, I'm leaving the door open for another surprise. Guys, this is breaking news to me. I did not know that Mourinho just joined Roma. Mourinho will suit Serie A. If he gets Rui Faria in, I can see him comfortably get top four. Now, finally, Roma has a real coach, because Roma has been an embarrassment to Serie A for the past 10 years. An absolute embarrassment. Not 20 years. Every time they go play in Europe, they lose 6-0, 7-1, 6-2, 5-0. Like, finally, I really hope for Roma, for Serie A, that Mourinho brings Roma to the next level. Because to me, Serie A needs teams to grow to the next level. We cannot compete against the Liga, the Premier League, with only one or two teams of that caliber. But Roma needs to have a lot of because Mourinho's not a yes man. Okay, we're talking about yes man and no man. Mourinho's definitely not a yes man. Okay, so I hope Roma knows how to manage Mourinho. And also, Mourinho's very demanding. Mourinho wants all the best players, right? He wants all the big players. So let's see how this goes. Eastbourne, good. Yes, plus Inzaghi. So according to the coaches rank, Milan is on the... Yes, if you are to coach, if you are to rank the coaches, you know, that you put here. Conte, Allegri, Gasperini, Sarri, Spalletti, Mourinho, Inzaghi, and I'll put Gattuso in there too. I'll put Gattuso above Pioli. Hey, but guys, I don't want to look. Pioli it's up to him. He has to prove it. He has to prove it. He has to win the top four. Okay, Ancelotti, before he won anything with Milan, he was a nobody. Well, I mean, obviously he was a legend as far as soccer, as the pitch goes. He won the Champions League twice with Milan on the pitch. But, or was it once or twice? You can correct me there. But he had to prove himself, and he did. He proved himself. So now it's up to Pioli. He has to prove himself. Oh, man. So, yeah, Inter are champions. Honestly, to me, it's not a surprise, because I thought that Juventus and Inter were the two teams that had invested the most and were the two teams that were more equipped to win the Scudetto. Inter winning the Scudetto is not a surprise. For me, it was either going to be Inter or Juventus from the beginning. I was of the belief that Milan is a top four squad, and Milan can still make the top four. So, this is where we stand. The cousins are champions of Italy. They're celebrating, and it's right that they celebrate. They have every right to celebrate. There's, I don't care about the banter. The one thing that I don't want is for Inter to win that second star before Milan does. That would fucking break my heart. Okay, I want to see Milan have that second star before Inter does. Because that would really break my heart. To see Inter win that second star and then we become the third team in Italy to win that, I would rather be the next team to win the second star. So, yeah, I don't really care about Inter winning the Scudetto. It doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me at all. I'll even say this. As much as the banter goes, I still want Serie A teams to do well, because if I go back into the past, when Milan was winning in Europe, it was because we had teams like Inter and Juventus that were pushing us. All right, those teams were pushing us to the brink. I mean, if we just go back to 2003, who did Milan play in the final? It was Juventus. Who did Milan play in the semifinal? It was Inter. So for me, if Inter can become a European squad, it's a game. It's actually a game. I'm not one of these guys that is going to say, I want to see Inter fail. I want to see Juventus. I don't want to see any Italian teams fail. I want to see them all succeed. I want to see them all become huge teams. I want to see Serie A dominate Europe, all right? So for me, this story about Inter. Whatever, they won. Good for them. I'm happy for the management, for the president, Zhang. 29 years old. 29 years old. Guys, 29 years old. First time a foreign management or ownership wins of the Serie A. So it's a great achievement. I'm happy for that this youngster. You know, this guy is only 29 and he's already won the Serie A as the as one of the CEOs of the squad. I have nothing to say about that. Congratulations to Inter. You won the Scudetto. You deserved it. Your form Conte has done an extraordinary job. What I wanted to see from Milan this year is our objective, top four. Let's get to the top four. Once we get to the top four, we can start building teams that are worthy of the Scudetto. Because when a team goes into the Champions League, what is up, Laert? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Can you hear me?
Hold on. Let me just finish that thought. When a team goes into the Champions League and has those kind of investments, those Champions League's investments, then you're obligated to win the Serie A. At that point, you have an obligation to win the Serie A. But right now, Milan did not have an obligation to win the Serie A. They just have to achieve the top four. Mr. Laert, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing excellent.
This weekend.
What's that?
I'm excited for the game this weekend. Because it's a important game. And hopefully we're going to win it. What the people are saying.
Like, check your sound. There might be something wrong with your sound. Can you check? Guys, on the chat, let me know if you can hear Laert well. If you can hear Laert well, press 1. If you're having issues hearing him, press 2.
Can you hear me now?
It
Hello?
seems a little bit. I can. It seems a little bit distorted.
Okay, just let me change it. What about now? Can you hear me now?
No, it seems like there's still a little bit of something going on.
What about now?
Yeah, same thing. I'm getting 2s, so it's not just me. Maybe your microphone. All right. Anyway, Laert will be with us in a second. All right. Let's see. We should beat Juventus anyhow next game because the team under Pirlo is even worse than last season when we beat them 4-2. Okay, Isborn, that's a pretty good thought. Because yes, you're right. Against Sarri, a team that was way more. Say something.
Okay, can you hear me now?
All right, there it is. Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah. So what's up, guys? What the people are saying, man? What people are saying in the comment?
Well, we are talking about Mourinho becoming the new coach of Roma. That's crazy news. That's crazy news, huh? Who would have thought?
Well,
would you ever imagine Mourinho going to Roma? How does Roma even? How do they pay him?
I think he's gonna get 6 million a year. What I heard.
Okay. So he decided to.
He decided to go down because, in my opinion, he's a bit sick and tired to work for a big club. And I'm not saying Roma is not a big club, by the way. It's just the historical period there. Not right now. It's like where we are at the moment. So, and I think he decided to go to a club that actually he can have time to work on it. And he wants a young player that runs and believes what he's saying. So when he gives some tactical, advice, people follow him, and that's it. He doesn't want to deal with big players at the moment. He wants to go back to Mourinho doing Porto time. So back to the basics, I would say.
It's just one of the realities of the fact that if you're, let's say, I'm going to use this word, which is a little bit of a tough word, but if you're demoted to the Serie A, you have to get a pay decrease by a lot, because he was getting what, 20 million with Tottenham. I mean,
Well,
okay, the guy fucking made all his money that he needs to make with Tottenham. He can make 6 million now. It's okay. The world is not going to end if Mourinho makes 6 million a year.
no. Mourinho, to be honest, Mourinho is never done it for the money. And what I'm saying is, all the money is asked from these clubs is something they could afford them. You know what I mean? But he's never done it for the money. He's always like been like, okay, Real Madrid has the money to pay me, so they have to pay me. Tottenham has the money to pay me, so they have to. It was more like a principle thing, I'm Mourinho, you're gonna pay me like the other ones. It's not about he needs the money, and he's never about the money. He wants to be a winner, and he always gives everything. I don't like him as a manager in the meaning that I don't like the way he makes his team play. But on the other side, he's a winner, and even if he hasn't win anything at the moment, the last probably 6-7 years, he's still a great manager. So he's still there, ready to win something and make the team big.
Yeah, and Gensel Di Mello says we need more characters in Serie A. Jose CR7 Zlatan helps Serie A. Yeah, definitely, I agree with that too. That really caught me off surprise. Hey, so I'm going to invite just one person at a time, Laird, to do some one-on-ones. But before I do that, Laird, I want to ask you, what do you think about Inter winning the Scudetto?
Well, we knew that a month ago, so it was kind of
It was coming. It was coming. You're right.
coming, yeah. And I think they deserve it. They are a strongest team. They have. They are not a team that actually can win at the second year. I don't think they're gonna win at the second year in a row, 2 years in a row. Or if they win it two
Why
years
is
in
that?
a row, the Serie A.
Oh, you
So
mean
they're going to
why do you think that?
because I feel like there is Conte doesn't want to stay there, and some players they're gonna get some decent offers next season or this summer. So it's kind of gonna be really hard. And because the team doesn't play great football, it's really hard to play bad and win in the long term. You really need to pull a great football to win in the long term. And
So
because
you are saying,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, finish your thought.
No, and I'm saying AC Milan is growing. Juventus is going to be back. I don't know if they're going to win, but they're gonna be back. So it's gonna be hard to make next season. Is gonna be even harder for a team to win the league and make another 85 point like Inter did. No struggle at all for the last 2 months, I would say.
It would be pretty ironic if Roma wins it next year.
But yeah, Roma is gonna have some 10 point extra next season or something like that. AC Milan is gonna get another 5 or 6 point more than this season. Juventus is gonna do definitely better. Is gonna get at least between 7 or 8 point more than this season, or 10 maybe. And I don't think Inter can do more than this than what they've done this season. So that's why I'm saying if they win it, they're gonna win it maybe 1 point or last day, something like that. So or they're not going to win it. Lazio is going to do better. Napoli probably is gonna fall down. But yeah, that's my opinion for the next season. But yeah, Inter
Okay.
deserve it and everything like that. And I would say to AC Milan supporter to just chill and relax. It's part of the game. We knew it's
Gotcha.
gonna happen. So
Yeah. All right, listen, I'm going to start inviting a guest one at a time. Let's see what they got to say about, Juventus, the current
that's
match.
interesting.
And let's start with Antonio. Antonio's been waiting for a while. So, Antonio, 5 minutes. Give us your idea, and then we're going to do. Last time we did we had more people at a time, but today, we're just going to do one person at a time. So let's start with Antonio.
Hello.
What
guys hear
is
me?
up, Antonio?
What's up, man?
You guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Hi guys, how are you?
Yeah,
I've
we
been
can hear
watching
you.
for a little while. I'm a fan of the podcasts, and big Milan fan. Been a Milan
Thank
fan
you.
all my life from the States.
Nice.
So yeah, I wanted to talk about the Juve game. I'm like really nervous
Yeah.
about that because
Okay.
I listened to your tactics. I agree 100% that Leao should not play number 9. So thank the Lord that we have Ibra, because he's one of the players on our team that has that quality that really pushes us that not many players have. Like I look at Kessie, for instance, he's a player that shows that quality.
Yes.
I think I just want to talk about the Juve game because this game is like it's so important for us in the sense like that we really can't afford to do anything but win the game, and if even a tie, for instance, because they're head to head like record, I think if that's the way they count the table, like their head to head record is better
A tie
because
wouldn't
they
do
beat
us any good.
Right? Yeah.
But
So yeah.
it does depend on what Napoli. Napoli's game does have influence on what on the standings.
Yeah, and the thing is, Napoli's upcoming games are actually not that bad for them at all. Like they don't have like
No.
Milan's 4 games. We're playing against Juventus, then I think Cagliari or Torino, and then Atalanta, and those 2 teams fighting for relegation.
We
and then
are
2
going
teams.
through it. That's a great point. Do you want me to call? Do you want us to call you Antoine or Antonio?
No, that's just my nick. Yeah, it's just like a funny name I put. My name's Antonio. You guys can call me that.
All
But
right.
yeah. Also,
You
you're a
make
little bit delayed, so if I'm like interrupting what you're saying, it's because like I hear you like come in like a bit late into the convo, so that's why.
No problem. But absolutely, and Light, Antonio brings a great point. We have to face against Juventus, who is fighting for the top 4. We have to play against Torino, that is playing for the relegation to avoid Cagliari. Same thing. Atalanta. We're playing against 4 teams that are going to come out with a knife in between their teeth. Antonio brings a great point.
No, it's a great point. But if you think Juventus has to play against Sassuolo and Inter, and we know how much Inter wants Juventus to be out of the Champions League, so they're gonna play that game properly. So I think, and Juventus is not in a great place at the moment. So I'm positive about AC Milan. I still think a draw is a good result. I think it's almost like a draw, because I don't think Napoli is going to win all the games because they have. I think some of them has some. They got COVID, and Koulibaly.
Maximovic.
Yeah, and Koulibaly I think is not going to play the next game. And Napoli is a team that they need to create a lot of chances to win, and sometimes even if they create a lot of chances, they don't win. So they're not really so solid. 4 wins in a row is going to be really hard for them. And
Liar. I just wanted to add one thing. Napoli though. So if you could bet on 4 teams, so Inter's already in, but if you could bet on like the 3 teams to qualify, you would probably say Milan, Atalanta, and Juventus right now. But Napoli, though, the thing is, since they have the easier schedule, they're playing teams that don't have like to fight for relegation or Champions League. They are going to. I think they have like Juventus is a hard schedule. We have a hard schedule. I think we have the hardest schedule, but they are like Napoli, which is the team that probably would have the least chance by name, and they're a couple points behind us right now. They have the easiest schedule, so I'm scared that if we tie against Juventus, Napoli can just start picking up points. And also, Napoli's team, like they've got at the beginning of the season, they've had so many injury problems, and now they've picked up a good run in the second half of the season because they've got their players back. Like Osimhen is starting to play more often, so that's why I'm really nervous about Napoli like taking our spot, because I think Atalanta is going to make it, and I think Juventus. It's hard to see them not make the Champions League. If we beat them, that'd be very interesting, but, very scared about that.
I understand your concern, and actually, probably you're right, because at the end, no one really knows what's going to happen. But if I have to, let's say you're losing 1-0 against Juventus, and it's 10 minutes at the end, I need draw. I think it's kind of a win because Juventus at the end has to win all the games to go through. For us, we just need to wait. And I think I've seen Juventus play this season. They cannot win 4 games in a row. I don't think it's even possible, something like that. And they have three players that can get a yellow card and don't play the next game. And one of them is Ronaldo, De Ligt, and Bonucci. So they can
We have that
probably
same issue too.
exactly
Yes.
after they play against AC Milan, they can actually play the next game without Ronaldo, Bonucci, and De Ligt. So it's Juventus is in a bad spot. Of course, we have to win against Juventus, and we are a better team than Juventus right now because Ibra is shouting to everyone, and everyone is waking up at the moment. So everyone has to play properly, and hopefully we're gonna win, man. I don't think Juventus is a big team. Lazio is better team. Napoli is better team. So I'm happy we're playing against Juventus now, not against Lazio or Napoli.
Yeah, before I head out, because I think it's getting towards my limit, but I agree with you. We cannot lose this game and the tie, because if we lose, if Juventus gets 3 points on us and we get 0, that's going to be horrible. But I also wanted to add before I leave about Benacer, because I've noticed recently.
Yeah.
I've noticed recently that Benacer, I think he's dropped like a lot, like in his quality. And like I see him in the midfield. I mean, the Lazio game, everyone did horrible. Like our offense, Tomori, who I love, and I think he's having just a bad spell, but I think he's amazing. But he had a horrible game. But Benacer though, he hasn't had that. He's made so many little mistakes that I see. I hope he picks himself up because he was so important at the end of last season, beginning of this season, and yeah, he would be monumental against Juventus. And if he's not on his game and he turns the ball over in the midfield like I've seen him, that's not going to be good at all.
Yeah. One thing I got to say about Benacer that I've noticed is that his recovery time after injuries is worrisome. Because obviously you said it, Benacer was playing like a phenomenal midfielder before his injury. But ever since he came back from this injury and the length of his injury, then the recurrence of the injury, he just seems like he's always not going up to 5th gear. He's holding that 5th gear, because he's scared. Almost like as if he's scared to push it, which is something that happens. It's something that when you're maybe he knows that he's that kind of player that is subject to injuries and recurrent injuries. Maybe, I don't know, but. He's taken a long time to get back into match fitness, and this is an issue that we have been seeing. So well spotted there. But I do think that once he gets back into match fitness, it's all smooth sailing from there.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's so important. Like Milan is really playing at its best when we control all of our lines. Another thing I just wanted to talk about is Romagnoli, because I heard about what you were talking about Romagnoli and how that the fans kind of over criticized him in the sense. The only thing that I disagree with you there is that, and I think you also said that Romagnoli should play against Juventus because he's the captain. I think I'm opposed to that because me and my family, we watched that game against Juventus. We were it was the first game that we lost. It was kind of upsetting, but we had all the injuries. But if you look at the goals that Juventus scored, you see they all would come from Teo and Romagnoli's side. And the first goal, for instance, when Dybala got the ball and he did a flick back and Chiesa cut in behind us and he put it far post and he scored. Yeah. Romagnoli, it was his fault because he's so it's frustrating to watch when he defends because he'll sit back and wait and he'll just watch the player instead of going up on him and pressuring him. And he gave Dybala space to pass the ball in behind. I think Romagnoli, that defending is really worrying, and I don't know if I'd start him against Juventus personally. And I think like Leao should be criticized. I think Romagnoli should be criticized as well, both equally.
Yeah, I mean, look, Romagnoli was super criticized, but at the end of the day, all 3 of them are going to make mistakes. Okay, Tomori has made 2 games in a row where he got dribbled. Correa made him look like a child. Raspadori made him look like a child. Kjaer made that crazy mistake in the midfield against Sassuolo that led to that counterattack goal. So they're all subject to making mistakes. My thing is, it doesn't matter which three you put in there. I think they're going to be fine. I don't think Romagnoli is inferior to any of those two. I think they're all subject to making mistakes. If they play Chiara Tomori, I'm confident. If they play Romagnoli Tomori, I'm confident. If they play Chiara Romagnoli, I'm going to stay confident. And then obviously Dybala and Chiesa, you're talking about two extraordinary players that can create anything out of nothing.
I really wish we got Chiesa. He would be so perfect, but I mean, it's way too expensive. Like all the rumors last year when Milan was considering, but like no way we'd ever pay 60 million for him. So, that was frustrating.
Yeah. Right. And go ahead, Larry.
Now these players choose another team to go because they want to play Champions League and they want to get out against Porto. They never choose the team with a bigger history and maybe a projection of a 15-year career. They always say, "Oh, Juventus is playing in Champions League next season. I'm going with Juventus."
Yeah, but also like the wages. Like Chiesa gets the kind of wages that in Milan a top player would be getting.
Yeah, but that's a career choice. You can say, you know what, I'll go for AC Milan. I'll go to play for a team.
You're right about that.
Bring it back. Yeah, that's the thing. I want to go back to the Romagnoli thing. I think, as you say, all the three centre back we have, they're really good. So I'm not worried who's going to play. I think the way to help the defensive side of the team is to have a great attack. So I want the player that they're attacking actually to know what they're doing in the last 30 meters, to be really dangerous. So we can actually scare them. That's the way to have a great defense, actually attacking properly. And I saw with Benevento just a bit. I didn't see all the game. And we're back in track, I think. We're doing things right. We know what to do in the last 30 meters. As you say, Ibra helps that a lot. Ibra is a game changer on that.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I think our attack is a big problem in a lot of, this season in general. Like, if you look at the goal difference, for instance, of, the top 5 teams, I'm pretty sure Milan has by far, other teams are in, the Inter is, 40. I think other teams have, plus 30. Right. Yeah, I noticed that. Milan, yes, we had a run of scoring at least 2 goals a game for a very long time in the first part of the season. Our attack has never been that prolific. I think the last time I remember Milan really going after goals was against Crotone, that one game when we scored 4 goals against them. But I think we really need to improve, especially in the wing positions, and we need to back up to Ibra in that sense, because our wingers do, besides maybe Rebic when he scores goals, our wingers do not get that many goals. I think that's a big problem in our front three that we need to address, some more clinical players.
Yeah, a lot of our players are not getting goals. The attacking midfielder, Çalhanoğlu, is not getting enough goals. The right wing is getting no goals whatsoever. We got almost. The only player scoring goals for us is Calabria coming from the right, and he's a left back. Sorry, a right back. Let's look at the goal difference here. So Inter has 74 goals for, 29 goals against. Atalanta has 79 goals for, 40 goals against. Atalanta's defense is not that fantastic. Juventus has 67 goals, 31 goals. Yeah, you're right. Milan, 62 goals, the team with the least amount of goals. And the team that has team that has conceded the most goals in the top 4, just by 1, 41. But Atalanta has almost scored, what is that? Close to 20 more goals than us. Close.
Yeah, I noticed that. That is really worrying to me because I feel like no one really notices that, because I've noticed this. I think our attack is missing something. Now they're saying DePaul will be our number 10 next year. I don't know about all those rumors, but I don't think it's – I mean, Çalhanoğlu should be getting more goals, and especially should be shooting a bit better, because that's what he's supposed to do is long-distance shooting. But I see the problem as, I was watching the Benevento game, And I see Salamaker's, like, I see him getting a pass right at the top of the box, and he whiffs the shot at the top of the box. That's like, you can't be missing that badly. I know Ibra missed a lot of chances as well, but, he's also scored a lot. He's our leading scorer. So I think the main problem is our wingers. We need to address that.
I think Çalhanoğlu is a big problem in terms of goals. His position is basically a striker and a number 10. So he should be scoring at least 10, 12 goals a season.
Right.
At least. And he's not doing that.
Çalhanoğlu does top the stats for two particular stats. The player that has hit the most posts and crossbars in the league. So you can argue he's been a little bit unlucky, but he's also the player with the most. I don't think he is anymore, actually, but he was a few match days ago the player with the most assists. But his goals scoring record has been absolutely abysmal. Larry, you said that De Paul would never come to Milan. Remind me why you said that.
I think because Pozzo, the family owns the Udinese, and they own another three clubs around the world, one in Spain and one in England. Actually, the one in England, Watford, they're going to play in Premier League next season. And he's an expensive shop, I would say. And he doesn't like to sell the big players in Serie A. He always sells the big player on the best market, which is the Premier League or maybe Germany and La Liga. So who's going to pay more? And if he doesn't sell it, he just move it to another club that he owns, which can be Watford in Premier League next season. And he can, if De Paul does a great season in Premier League, he can sell it over there for 50, 60 or 70 million to some, club in Premier League. So I don't think you need De Paul to say, okay, I want to go to AC Milan. And you need AC Milan to give at least 40, 50 million for him.
I just wanted to add, did you guys see the reported offer that Milan have made for him? Like, do you guys, because I know it, if you guys don't, I could.
Yeah, I think it was around 30 million, right?
I think I read that it was, 20 to 30 million, something like that, including Hauge. Like, I think.
Including Hauge.
What do you guys think about that? I don't think Hauge, I'm really critical of Pioli, like, as well, and I think that Pioli's never been, like, a tactician at all, and I think a lot of our comeback has been caused by Ibra, to be honest. Pioli just manages well, and he put the 4-2-3-1 system that worked for us in the beginning. But I think that Pioli should be criticized about Hauge because, we're already going to send him off, like, get rid of him, and he hasn't even had that many games. He's, like, one of the highest goals per minute on our team, so
with that. Oh, the thing is, if you're not going to play him, put him in another team. At least let him get experience in another team. Should he be playing him more? Yeah, I agree with you. He definitely should, because every time Hauge has come on the pitch, has he disappointed more than him doing well? No, he's done better than worse.
He disappears during the game, and then he'll score a goal out of nowhere. That's what I think of. He needs to work on his overall contribution a bit more. Like, I understand why Pioli might be frustrated, but if he scores goals, what do you want from him?
And that is understandable for a player that young, to play in the wing, to disappear, because in Serie A, in that level of football, you have to. It's like a stage by stage. You have to know how to manage each. Because do you play football? Have you ever played soccer?
So yes, I have. I don't anymore. I'm really focused on school right now. Busy time of the year. But I used to play. I got you. I used to play, and my brother plays, and my dad is actually. So I'm Italian. My dad was born and raised there, so he loves soccer, and so I do know a lot about it. Yeah.
So as the game goes on, the stages of the game develop. And you have to adapt to the various stages of the game. There's certain points where you're more offensive. There's certain points where it's all about keeping the ball in the midfield. There's certain points where you have to defend. And, a player that is so young, that has come from the Norwegian league, which the level is not the same, he's going to struggle to handle and manage all those different stages of a 90-minute game. And I understand that. I see that. I don't blame Pioli for easing him in. I think Pioli is taking him out a little bit too long. But having at least Howard come in for the last 20 minutes of the game, where his assignment is very specific. Yo, you got to create chances. You got to create goals. That's it. It's manageable. But he's not even doing that. So
Yeah.
I see where you're coming there with the Harvard.
And I
What do you
think
think? Yeah, go ahead.
before just to add, I think that the Europa League snub was really annoyed me because he was one of our best Europa League players too. So that was I think that was kind of insulting, but
Yeah. No, I was against that decision as well. What do you have to add to that, Larry?
In my opinion, these reports about the poll, all the reports in Italy are a bit. I don't trust them.
Speculative.
They know nothing what's going on. To be
they're
fair,
better than Spain. Remember that though.
so to be fair, some newspapers in Spain are owned by Cairo, which is the president of Torino. So be careful in that as well. And one of the main TVs in Spain is owned by Berlusconi as well. So
The ghost of Berlusconi.
yeah, the vibe is similar. But what I'm saying, I don't think AC Milan is going to get rid of Auge. I feel like they're going to get rid of Krunic and Castilla more because Auge doesn't earn a lot of money. He's still young and he has the potential. I think Krunic and Samu, they don't have any place in this team anymore. If you want to upgrade the team, you should just sell them, make 20 million, 30 million with both of them, and go for a big, good wing on the right or a great striker, whatever they want to do. And keep Auge because he's young. He's going to have a preseason this year. He's going to prepare himself.
Good point.
Understand more the Serie A, and he speaks more Italian next season. It's gonna be different for him.
Yeah. What do you think about him going on loan?
No, I don't think he's going on loan. I don't think we are that type of team that actually can bring a potential 20 years old on loan. It's better to keep it. We are not so strong and so powerful to say, you know what, you're good, but there is no space for you, so you're going on loan. I think Auge is a perfect second choice for us. So he's not going on loan. He's gonna stay.
Roy.
Yes.
I saw the comment that you just pulled up. I like about Lille players. I actually love looking for players and stuff, and I'm like a big. I see a lot of talent in France, for instance. Lille, I love so many of their players. You look at Renato Sanchez is one that I love. Jonathan Icone, I love him. The goalkeeper is basically we've already agreed to a deal to get him. So I see it would be really interesting if we didn't buy Mete and we looked into Renato Sanchez because apparently he's gonna probably go this year. And if you guys remember when we lost to Lille 3-0 at home, he had an amazing game. He dominated Benacer and Kessie because he kind of reminds me of a faster Kessie in that sense. He's a really interesting player to have in that midfield.
He reminds me a lot Edgar Davids at his peak, the way he runs and he fights. And Bayern Munich bought him for 40 million, I think, from Portugal when he was 18 or 19. So he's a great player, and I think AC Milan is the best environment for him, which there is pressure, but not crazy pressure on him. And he's not.
I want to say I did not know that Elliott owned both clubs.
They actually sold. They recently sold Lille. I'm pretty sure this year, but they owned Lille at the beginning of the season, but I think they sold them this past year.
Okay, gotcha.
But yes, they did.
Yeah, that if there is this relationship, definitely it would be nice to take advantage of. Icone is definitely a future superstar for France. At least it looks like that. Then we don't know what the future brings, but it looks like that. I know Icone has been on the radar of AC Milan a lot, and I've even read reports. But Lariat is right. We never know if these reports are true or not. That Icone is pretty much agreed to a deal with Milan if Milan is going to go for it.
Wow.
So, Lille has been a fantastic team this season. So plucking players out of them would be fantastic.
They're like a talent factor. I don't know how they have those. I think like teams like Lille, Dortmund, they have super good scouts. Atalanta too, if you notice. Like, I think it has to do with the youth systems maybe, because I think Milan really need to upgrade their youth. Like they get all these young players. Like Atalanta, for instance, gets all these young players and they sell them. Like if you look at all these like good players like Barro, for instance, on Bologna, all these good players in Italy on different teams. A lot of them are like linked back with Atalanta. It's crazy.
Yeah, Atalanta is the best youth organization in terms of football. They are the best talent, and I think Inter as well is one of the best in the region, Lombardia. But going back to
And
the Ligue 1, I
Juventus.
think Ligue 1 is the best league for a younger player to develop and become good players. Because the pressure is not a lot. They play football. There is not a lot of tactics. So you have the time to develop on dribbling, physicality, and everything, and actually become a good player. So that's why I think it's a great league. And Germany as well. But Serie A is so tactical, man. Look at if Alve was playing in Ligue 1, probably would be a different player now. Playing in Serie A with all the tactics and all the.
I actually wanted to bring up about Hauge. I remember watching like Milan versus Bodo Glimt, like when we were qualifying for the Europa League. He looked like a completely different player against us. I think he scored I think 1 or 2 goals and then he got an assist or something like that. But
He scored a great goal.
yeah, from far away. I think he was really in his best in that system, and I think he needs to like adjust because he can do way more than like what he's done so far.
Yeah. I think it's just a bit. He's feeling the pressure. He doesn't know Italian, and a lot of it's not easy, man. It's a lot of money in place.
Yeah.
AC Milan is like they need these 9 points to get in Champions League, and everything's gonna be different this season.
Yes, that's
And
what
it
I'm
takes
scared
time.
about.
It just takes time. It will always take time.
Stop.
There's a couple
Here's some
youth
players that
players.
Eastbourne is putting.
Yeah, Milan have-
Botman, Yazici, Samara.
Milan have been linked, like as far as I know, with
This
everybody on that list.
I really trust Maldini and all the people working with him.
Yeah.
I really trust
could-
them.
Right. Now, this brings me to a really great segue because, like you just said, you really trust Maldini. There's been people that have actually been criticizing Maldini's and Gazid and the whole Mossad or whatever, their winter transfer market. A lot of people are blaming the winter transfer market for Milan's, let's say, downfall in this second half season. So, for example, when I was blaming Pioli, some other people on this channel were telling me, no, it's actually Maldini and their mistakes by not giving Pioli the right kind of players. So, do you think that Maldini and co have a part in this lack of form?
No, I don't. The winter transfer market is not a real transfer market. You know what I mean? You're just looking for a good deal or something to put a patch on the team. It's not a real transfer market. So they were looking at some options, and they went for the experience part. They choose a midfielder that played in Serie A before. So they say, okay, he's going to adapt quick to the league. So I'm not getting someone outside the Serie A or a too young player because maybe he's not going to be useful. Because they had a lot of injury at that time. So it makes sense, the choice of May 10. The second choice, Mandzukic, everyone on Twitter, on all the social media was like, yes, that's the right choice. So I'll tell them to shut up now because it's too late and everyone is good now to say what is good and what is wrong. I think they went for the experience. They saw Mandzukic scoring a lot of goals in Serie A, and they said, let's see, maybe Mandzukic is going to be the same, is going to give the same effect Ibra did when he came. So they were hoping for that.
I gave about a 10.
But it didn't happen, and that's the fact is a risk. operation, and we know that it can go really well or it can go really bad, not in the middle.
All right, guys.
It's not
Sorry,
going to
my
be in
bad.
the middle.
Sorry, I was saying you were saying everyone was happy about Mandzukic. I mean, like even when I remember we had that podcast about the winter transfer market. None of us really gave Mandzukic a lot of confidence. We all had our reservations about Mandzukic. I remember I gave him a 5 out of 10. You didn't give him a very high score as far as the transfer market. Ari didn't. Even Aaron didn't.
But
So there was skepticism.
But the skepticism was the fact that he's 36 and he's coming from a non-league. It's not a league, the one he was playing.
Yeah, exactly.
But everyone was hoping, I hope he's fit and he's gonna score because the guy knows how to play football. Yeah. That's the only problem is. And going back to the Maldini, Massara, I think they really know what they're doing, and I really trust them. When Maldini picks a defender, he's a proper defender. He's a guy that actually knows how to play, and we've seen that. And when they pick a midfielder, they know what's going on. And I think now is the time. Imagine giving them a budget of 50, 60, 70 million. What player they can choose.
Yep.
So I really trust them. I think that part of the club is not the issue. The only issue, I think, Pioli is not a problem, in my opinion. Is the right manager for the type of team we have at the moment. The only issue for me is the ownership. Are they going to spend some money? Because the financial fair play is not a thing anymore. So they are going to spend any money. They're going to put on the table 80, 100 million and say, listen, we need now this team to step up and go to the next level. Like Inter did. They bought Lukaku, and the season after they bought Hakimi. So 150 million investment, which is not bad. If AC Milan can invest 150 million in 1 year, that would be great.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that and say, I think like Pioli, I don't know what Pioli's potential is. Like right now, I definitely don't want to get rid of him. If he doesn't make Champions League, then there's an argument to get rid of him. I think though, is Pioli the type of coach that would like go to the management and say, okay, I want this much money and I want these players? Because he seems like he's just very adaptable in that sense that he doesn't have like that personality to go after certain players. I think it's more Maldini.
Yes, and that goes to, I was saying earlier, Pioli is more like a yes man than anything.
Yes.
He doesn't have much character. Now, but let me just ask you concretely, if he doesn't make the top 4, what would you like to see?
That is a very hard question. Personally, I'm trying not to be like too judgmental because like of recent performances. I don't know. I don't like how he doesn't change the system. If we don't, and I think like all the hard work that we've shown has kind of is at risk of being basically nothing. And I'm very nervous. I would honestly consider getting rid of him, but I know that may be considered harsh. Like I don't know. I've been looking forward to a Champions League return all season, and I think that would just shatter like a lot of fans' expectations if we don't make that. So that would be very difficult. And I also think that it's worth saying that Ibra's arrival made a huge like impact as well, not just Pioli. And I think that and also, but then there's the argument that Pioli's relationship with Ibra is really is good as well. So it depends. Like it's just going to be on Maldini to see. But I don't know. I think there's a good argument to get rid of him in that situation.
I've got to. Yeah, go ahead. Just let me say, really
to your yes man, because I really agree with your yes man. You're right about that. If you get another manager, they're going to tell Maldini, I don't want to play a team with the 40 years old as a striker. So AC Milan is not ready to have a strong personality as a manager at the moment. They need a yes man that actually plays the player, and the player actually gets some value, and you can sell them and make some money and start to clean a bit the wages and the team. So they need a yes man for another year and go to the Champions League, get some money, get back with the finance and everything. As soon when they're gonna be strong, they're gonna have the money to buy big players and be on the Champions League more consistently. they're gonna go for the big and strong personality, and they're gonna tell him, you know what, you're the manager. Now, what player do you want? What team how you want to play? Now they need a yes man. That's the only thing, and we know that.
That's a really good point. Just before you jump in, I just wanted to add that the fact that Ibra renewed for one more year, that's a good indication of that they look that they're confident in Pioli in that sense, because I don't think they're gonna jump managers when Ibra's on board, considering his personality and that he's kind of a coach as well. So they don't want to butt heads between Ibra and the coach.
Yeah, and I gotta say that the way Pioli has managed Ibra has been excellent. I think I give him full marks for that. Now, even though I just want to clarify one thing, even though Pioli is definitely a yes man, and it seems as if that's what Maldini wants right now, I'm not against that. I don't think that a yes man and a no man makes much difference. It doesn't really matter. It's the whole thing that matters, the whole team that matters. Whether the coach is a yes man or a no man doesn't really affect the team that much, I don't think. But it is interesting that Maldini, from Giampaolo to Pioli, obviously wants more of a yes man than a strong character.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing to look at is a lot of the times the yes men and like the no men, like the people who have more personality, they're better at they have better tactics, and they're more confident in changing things, and in a sense because Pioli, he looks too scared to make changes, and I think that's kind of hurting the team right now.
That is a good point. That the yes men tend to be a little bit more scared of outcomes, while the no men are more adventurous, and they're more willing to sail into the unknown, hoping to find treasure. It can backfire. It cannot. Ancelotti was more of a yes man. For example, he was more of a yes man than a no man, and Ancelotti was one of the best coaches that has ever had.
My favorite coach.
Yeah. Want to add anything?
No, it's just clever. Anton is clever. He knows what he's saying, so I like it. Thank you for coming to the channel.
Yeah,
and we need stability, as I always say. AC Milan needs stability. Needs to add a piece one at a time. So at the moment we have a good squad. We just need to add an extra piece every time we go to the market. We add Tomori. Hopefully we're gonna add a great number 10, because I don't think Çalhanoğlu is gonna renew, and hopefully we're gonna add a decent wing. So that's the journey at the moment. So let's keep following the team and hopefully force Milan. No?
Yeah, absolutely.
Should we talk about Donnarumma at all, or should we just look at the chat for the next question?
Well, I just let's do this one thing, Anton, sure. And then I want to also bring someone else in. Let's do the last thing. What do you, Antoine, what do you think about this question here that Isborn brings up? After so much hard work and ambition at the start of the season and not getting the top four, do you still think the Milan players will play for Pioli with the same energy next season, considering they have failed? If Milan doesn't make the top four. Knock on wood.
Oh, that's a good question. I think that it's different among each player. I think that Leao, for instance, I don't really see any I don't see much intensity when I look at him play at all. So I don't know. I think that there are some Ibra will always have that mentality. I think if Ibra stays, he should keep a good amount of that mentality. But at the same time, I think there are individuals I think you see it with Çalhanoğlu, Donnarumma, those type of players that I think they would not react well. They might even leave, honestly. If we don't make the Champions League, they're probably going to leave. So I think it's about finding if worse come to worse, if that happens, we're going to really see who will stay and who will go and who's committed to the team, because we have a lot of players on loan. We have a lot of players who are at the end of contract. Even Kessie, for instance, we have to renew him soon. I think Kessie is dedicated to the team, but I think there are a good amount of players that will be dedicated no matter what. But there are a lot of players who are just hoping to secure Champions League or else they're out. So it's going to divide the team, I think.
Yeah. Larry, What do you think about that question?
I really think we're gonna go top 4, so I don't see any question there. That's the thing. I really think we're gonna go top 4. I really believe.
Okay,
That-
but what if? What if? What if?
No, man, I cannot consider the what if.
There's
What
no
if
what
is-
if.
It's basically what if is like there was no season. We didn't have this season.
Liar,
This season didn't exist.
liar. What's the score going to be for Juve Milan?
No, I don't do predictions. to be
Okay,
fair.
okay.
I come from Italy when the game is really important. We don't do prediction. I can tell you how I feel. I feel positive, but I don't do prediction because it's a game that you get 2 yellow cards, so you get a red, and it's done. Even if you're better than them or you're playing better than them, it changed completely. So you cannot give a prediction. It's more about or a small mistake from them or from us and change completely the game. So it's impossible to predict it. And I don't see that if we don't go top 4, doesn't make any sense. It's like the season never happened. So these guys, they need to find again the strength, and they are professional. They need to play football and win and get top 4.
I think Europa League I just wanted to add, I think the fact that we lost to Man United in that way, like, it was so disappointing because I really believed that Milan could have gone and qualified that way, worst come to worst. And I think that Milan's that European team. So the fact that we lost, I mean, we had so many injured players. Like, we had Costi playing number 9. That was really unfortunate. But, yeah, that was really upsetting. I wish we would have qualified that way.
Liar definitely does not think that.
Oh yeah, I don't care about Europa League. I don't know if you ever
We've never
seen
won
our
the trophy.
podcast.
I care about it because we've never won that trophy before, and I think
And
like
there is a reason why.
I know, but if you have the chance to win it, you got to try. It's qualification.
You know,
I never
Barcelona
did.
has won it 3 times.
Barcelona won it 3 times.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I know Sevilla is like dominates that. So
Sevilla is the Real Madrid of that competition.
yeah.
All right, Antoine, Antonio, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Anytime we do the Milan news sections, I always invite people from, the chat. So, always you're always welcome to come back.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Hey, no problem. Just before you go, let me ask you, how did you become an AC Milan fan?
Oh, so my dad was born and raised there. Like, he came over to like work. Like, he came to the States to work, and I was born in the States, and he ever since then, like, he was watching during like the 80s and 90s and even like 70s when he was little.
Oh, nice.
So he would always tell me stories, and yeah, he just every day when I was little, he'd be like, Forza, and I'd always have to say Milan. It's just it's deep inside. I've never cheered for any other team besides Milan.
Nice. And you're young, right? You're pretty
Yes.
young, right?
Yes, I'm pretty young. I am.
You said you were thinking about-
less than 20.
You said you're still focused on school. So are you in high school or college?
Yes, I'm in high school. I'm almost done high school.
Nice, excellent, good. And you're from the States, right? You have
Yes, I am. East Coast.
Nice.
The best
Awesome.
host, no?
Yes.
Why is that the best coast?
Wait, I know
are
you're
you-
from California, Roy. That's
Oh,
why.
I love California personally. I've actually visited there. It's one of my favorite places. So.
Nice, yeah, it's nice. All right, Antonio, it was a pleasure to have you on. Give us your 2 cents and what you think. Again, definitely every time we do a Milan news, we have people come up and just say the thing. So watch out for that. But so thank you so much, my friend. Any last words?
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you,
Forza
guys. Good
Milan.
luck with everything.
Yes, thank you guys. I really appreciate this, and let's go win this game. Let's go.
Forza Milan!
Sempre
All right.
Milan.
Okay,
Let's
thank you,
go.
Antonio.
Ciao.
Sempre Milan. And we have our friend.
Roy, I'm coming back.
Yes, sir. We have a friend from the UK coming to say his 2 cents. What is up, my friend? Jan, how you doing?
Not bad, mate. How are you?
I'm good. How's life treating you right now?
Very good, thanks, mate. We were never really out of it, but back in the top four, so very good.
Back in the top four, right? Just by goal difference. Is it goal difference or is it point difference? Let's check.
2 points on Napoli.
2 points. 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, did we talk about the Benevento game? No, we didn't. But I'm curious to see what you think about the Benevento game.
What's up, man?
Hey, man. You good?
It's snowing in North England, yeah?
In Manchester it is. Here it's just pissing it down with rain.
Jesus Christ.
Only over here.
So, what was the question? I missed the question.
The Benevento game.
Forget about it.
I want to hear what Jan has got to say. I haven't heard Jan.
3 points. It's all that really matters, isn't it, at this stage of the season now, I think. Performance-wise, I'm not really bothered if we play well or not anymore. But the last few games of the season now, I'm just bothered about getting 3 points. I don't care how they come.
Yeah, true. Any thoughts about this upcoming game against Juventus?
Just whoever shows up on the day, really. Whoever turns up on the day. I think we were unlucky last time we played them. I think the scoreline flatters them when they won 3-1. We had Calabria in centre midfield and we had, I think, 6 starters out missing through injury or suspension, whatever. So, I think it'll be a good game and I think we might just edge it.
Yeah, even this last game against Benevento, I mean, the goalkeeper of Benevento had the game of his life. You know, that game could have ended 5-0, 4-0. So it is true that Milan does create a lot of chances, and Milan could have won a lot of games that they lost. Even the Lazio game, which we brought up. But let's hope that the defense holds strong. Because when the attack doesn't score, the defense needs to hold strong.
Well, this is what me and Lara have been saying, haven't we? That if Pioli had a proper striker up front, or we had either every game of the season and a better attack line, we wouldn't need to worry. And it is the players that are letting us down. And now that luckily we beat Benevento, but it just proves how many chances we are creating. And you can see it more when obviously we win, because when you lose, you don't really look into it too much. But we're just missing easy chances week in, week out.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Laird, have you been following the Champions League?
Yeah, I have the game here on the left, and I told you that Chelsea's gonna go to the final and win it. Long time ago.
Laird did predict that Chelsea is going to go all the way to the final. I will say that too, so I'll be your witness. Laird did say that Chelsea is going to go all the way to the, and Chelsea looks really good.
Yeah,
They look
they're
really
good.
good.
The manager is really good. That's what the manager makes the difference, because the manager has a team. He has good players, so he can actually make the difference, and he can change it. And on the other side, AC Milan doesn't have this great team where people are thinking like, oh, we should be having like 85 points now or 82 points, something like that. That's not possible. We don't have a team like that to make 82 points. And probably we're going to finish 75 at least, which is a lot. It's a lot of points. And it's crazy the fact that you can make 75 points in Serie A and don't get in Champions League. That is just crazy, in my opinion.
And with half the games, your striker's been missing and your best midfielder from the season before has been missing. It's a fantastic achievement. But I think if the rumours are true about this summer potentially getting DePaul and Vlahovic, then I'll judge Pioli. Then I'll be a lot harsher on Pioli, because then you're giving him 2 players worth nearly 100 million, and that's where you should be judging him. Not with a 40-year-old striker and a bunch of average players or young players that still are nowhere near the potential yet.
Yeah, we definitely cannot rely on a player that is that old because we've seen it this season. What happens? It is normal. This is why players retire. Players don't retire because they get tired of playing football. Players retire because their body doesn't allow them to play football anymore at that level.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we definitely need to get someone else back. Guys, Ali has a really cool question, especially on a day like today, which caught me by surprise with Mourinho being in the news. Now, a few days ago, Mourinho had said in an article somewhere that he was open to the idea of coming back to Italy, not necessarily Inter. A lot of Juventus fans speculated that he was talking about Juve. I thought, well, Juve seems strange, maybe Napoli. I would have never imagined it Roma. Never. Not in a million years. But now, talk about that too. But also, what does Ali say? Do you think Sarri would be a good option for us? Now, I already know what you say, John, about Sarri. You would need years to develop this kind of football. But go ahead. You can articulate that for Ali, and also you, Larry.
I'll let Larry go first on that one.
Oh yeah, okay. It's pretty simple. It's a bit like what I was saying before about the yes man situation. Sarri is a strong personality. He had the issue with Ronaldo at Juventus, and they sacked him because he wasn't. He didn't want Ronaldo. He wanted Ronaldo to play in a certain way, and he wanted the team to play in a certain way. And they say, okay, if you're not gonna make Ronaldo work, we're gonna sack you and get another one. And it's the same with Ibrahimovic. Sarri is gonna come at AC Milan and say, listen, what is that guy, 40 years old? I want a 27 years old on his prime, and I want 25 goals, and it doesn't get injured every 2 games. So I'm not gonna be a manager of a team with a 40 years old striker. So that's the point. We need to think a bit more like what is achievable for AC Milan at the moment. If we decided to invest in Ibra, we need to keep a manager like Pioli that actually does the best what he can do with the team, and that's it. So we cannot get a strong personality like Sarri and change completely the team and buy 2 or 3 players, spend a lot of money. It's not possible. I don't know. It's not. Maybe it can happen. You never know, but I don't think it's possible.
I totally agree. Like I've said before, managers like Sarri who have a certain style of play and who stick to that style of play, it takes them months to get the football right and the plays that they need. And the bit that makes me laugh most about Sarri is people are criticising purely for being stubborn with one formation and one tactical set. But then they want Sarri, who is the exact same, who when he'll just keep 3-5-2 or whatever he plays, 3-4-1, whatever it is, and he just keeps it like that, whether it's going well or not. So I really don't understand. I think he'd need a big investment, and he'd need some new players to get it to be able to play the style of football that he wants us to play, and it's just not possible.
And it would take time. You said the other day it will take a bunch of years. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Jan, what do you think about Mourinho going to Roma?
I think it's a good move for Roma, but again, Mourinho won't spend, and I just don't know if Roma can do that, especially without Champions League football. I kind of worry for the likes of Zaniolo because Mourinho's got a bit of a history of picking out young players and like kind of pushing them to one side sort of thing. So that's a bit worrying from the national team perspective, but it's a good move for them, but everyone thinks that that'll just instantly put them above Milan, and I don't think it will. Look at Tottenham this year; they've gone further down since Mourinho joined, and like when Poch were there, who got them into a Champions League final. So I think his methods are a bit past it now, and he needs to adapt more to modern football.
Right. That's also what I was going to bring to. I was wondering if Mourinho's style is still applicable to today. One thing Mourinho said in this last interview, which was interesting, he said, it was very interesting, okay? And also what Eastbourne said right here is very interesting too. There was no rumors, nothing about Mourinho. That's true. Nobody even, and this is why the newspapers are all bullshit, okay? Even if sometimes I read the transfer rumors, I'm aware that the newspapers are all bullshit. They just say bullshit. If the fucking newspapers were real, if these journalists were actually real, they would have been telling us about Mourinho to Roma a long time ago. But this news just came out of the blue, and they have absolutely no idea what's going on in back of the scenes. They just have to create stories to sell newspapers and to get clicks. That's all it is. But going to that, Mourinho did say in his last article that the Serie A was meant for him, right? Because Mourinho doesn't care too much about the style of football. He cares about the result. And he brought up this anecdote when he first played against Sampdoria. And that game, Inter won by an own goal, right? And then after the game, Moratti came up to him and said, "Great win, fantastic job, amazing." And so Mourinho said, "Yes, I'm at home, finally." So maybe Serie A still can function for him, because Serie A hasn't abandoned this idea of the result yet. But the other thing is that Inter don't give a fuck how they play. But if Mourinho came to Milan and played the way Mourinho does, we would be complaining. Because I would think, if Mourinho plays that style of Juventus, they would be complaining. Now, Roma, how are the Roma fans going to react to Mourinho's style of play? Because Mourinho does not play like Roma has been playing for the past 10 years. What do you guys think?
Can I say something about this? I think they cannot say anything because they're coming from a situation. They have a manager. They did 55 points at the moment. So I'm sure Mourinho is going to do 60 points next season. Is going to say I did better than the previous manager, or 65 points. And so they're not going to say anything the first season. It's the second season the real problem for Mourinho. And depends on the players. The players are quite young. If they do what Mourinho says, they're gonna be effective. They're gonna be a pain in the ass in this area. They're gonna get a lot of points. So, and they're gonna make it top 4 probably, or at least almost make it. So the fans are gonna be happy. On the other side, the Mourinho move is more like for Mourinho. You know, when you broke up with your girlfriend, you just want a quick thing. You know, that's my opinion. Just not thinking about your broken up. So he just needs a job to keep going and not thinking too much. And in this league, he's the manager who wants more. So he can always say to the papers, you know what, I'm the biggest manager in this league, so you cannot say anything to me. Which is good at that. So he needs a comfortable place to work.
I think he'll win the Coppa Italia next year with Roma.
Hey guys, the 4th of May, May the 4th be with you. John has said that Roma will win the Coppa Italia with Mourinho next season.
He's a knockout manager, and he likes playing knockout games, one-off games where you can just, turn up for 90 minutes and kind of get a result. It's not something like where you're playing it over the course of the season. And what will Roma have next year? 5 games to get to the final, something like that. That's easy for Mourinho, so I can see them winning it next year. Like Tottenham this year with the Carabao Cup, he took them to the final, and not letting them play that final was bizarre. But I think Tottenham would probably maybe win it. I'll go on record. Tottenham will win. Roma will win Italy next year.
Nice, yeah, and that is obviously a possibility. Hey, Larry, can you just take over for a second? I'll be right back, okay?
Yeah, man. Let me see. Moise Kean at Milan. He's returning to Everton next season, and he was selling. What do you think, man? I think he is quite young. He's 22, if I'm not wrong.
I think he's. He might have just gone 22. I know he was like 21 or something like that a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, he's very young. I think he'd be suited to Serie. I think Juve gave up on him a bit too early. I'd like him, but it's just it's another Raiola client. That's true.
It'll
be a big transfer fee. I wasn't impressed. Well, it's not. I wasn't impressed. I didn't realise how good Vlahovic was. Maybe I was being a bit naive, and I thought he's not ready for Milan. But to score nearly 20 goals in Serie A is pretty impressive, and I think that'd be my first choice for the summer.
Yeah, and I saw something about him. I saw some videos, and I saw some highlights of some goals, and he did. And I think and scoring, as you said, 20 goals in Serie A is
At that
second
age.
season. At that age, it says something about at least the mentality of the player. There is not playing around. He's not joking about his intentions. He wants to score. He wants to become a great player, and he's a kind of a working hard because he's not an insane talent. He works hard a lot, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's not a natural talent.
He's a bit like Haaland in the sense that all he wants to do is score goals.
He's quite rough on the way he runs and his style, and he still's not tactically, how can I say, knowledgeable, but still he makes 20 goals. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's an impressive thing. He's not tactically prepared, but still wants to score.
I think to play with Ibra next year.
It's the opposite of Leao, if you think. Same age. So.
No, I agree. Insane. I think Ibra, he loves Ibrahimovic, and I think it'd be the perfect season to play with Ibra, to not be thrown straight in at the deep end and have all the pressure on you of the Milan fans, but to learn off Ibra and to play games when Ibra can't and stuff like that. If we'd have had someone like Vlahovic this season, we'd have scored at least another 15 goals with the chances that was missed, I think.
Yeah.
So I'd love him. I didn't think I would, but I really like him, and I think I'd seen somewhere that he's the youngest player to reach this milestone since Altafine, which is fantastic.
No, he's insane. He's insane. Scoring 20 goals in Serie A at that age.
With Fiorentina and all.
Yeah,
it's
with
not
Fiorentina.
Like he's into Juve, Napoli. He's at Fiorentina, who have been sort of scrapping for relegation all season. It's fantastic, I think.
No, he's incredible. He's incredible. And the fact, as I say, he's not a massive talent. He's not those dribblers. And he's actually good at dribbling as well. But he knows how to deal with the ball, and he wants to score. He really wants it more than anyone else. And at that age is a lot. It means that in his mind, he's already a pro. He's already for the next step. And he looks a good guy. I have that opinion. I feel like he wants to play football. Of course, he's going to make money and he's going to sign expensive contract in his career, hopefully. But I feel like he wants to be a legend for a team, or actually become someone with a team, not moving around and making money right and left. Which, and Fiorentina is a team that at the moment I think is struggling a bit. So probably they're gonna take that incredible offer of 40 million or 35 million.
I think the only issue is,
which is a lot.
There's just that risk element when you look at Silva, how much we paid for him. When you look at how much we paid for, I still think the Leao investment will come good, but there's just that bit of worry there. Is it worth paying 40 million for another striker just in case it doesn't, when potentially Belotti could be available for around 15 million? It's hard to weigh up, but I'm definitely on the borderline of saying I'd go all out for him, and then adding Vlahovic to Milan and then adding someone like DePaul, it would just be incredible. And they're the type of players that I think would thrive under the only hard workers for the team, not like Çalhanoğlu, who turns up every couple of games. Two players that just work for the team, pressing, DePaul's creativity, Vlahovic's finish. It's fantastic. I'd love to see it.
I feel like, and we are players that we can work. Like, we can easily give them Krunic and 30 million and get Vlahovic.
Yeah.
We can easily give them 3 players and 30 million. So we get rid of 3 players and give them 30 million. And it's an offer they cannot say no, because it's like, okay, I'm I'm solving the right back with Conte. I'm putting Krunic and Castillejo on the squad,
Caldara, he'd be a good
or
signing. I think,
Caldara,
for
or anyone. We have Laxalt, players like this. They are perfect for of a team like Fiorentina that actually can be on a comfortable mid-table with those players and have 30 million in their pocket.
It would be nice. I like Milenkovic from Fiorentina too. I also like Cash. There's a few players at Fiorentina that I really like, really like. And I think you could kind of go raid them, spend a bit of money, but also you take someone like Milenkovic, but you give them Caldara and Conte in part of that deal. You go try and get Vlahovic, and then you give him like Castillejo, as you said, part of that deal. I know it's not that simple. Or you go for someone like Castrovia and you send Krunic that way, maybe Pobega that way, and stuff like that. I just think there's some really good players there, and I also like he's on loan from Fiorentina, and he's at Cagliari. Is it Stottil, the right winger?
What about Scamacca? Some people are saying Scamacca.
Oh, I love you, Lucas, but I really don't like Scamacca. When you look...
Sorry, I want to just interrupt you. Something. We have two similar players, same age, but one guy has done 20 goals in Serie A, and the other one.
Yeah.
So I understand your point, but seriously, if you have to invest 30 million, invest it to a guy who already done 20 goals.
Exactly. No, I agree. That's just what I was about to say. When you compare the two, it's an absolute no-brainer. When one's got 20 goals in the league and the other is playing for Genoa and he's scoring, and Destro's scoring more than him, I think you go for the thing. I don't understand the hype around Scamacca. I've seen him a couple of times. I saw him in the last international break for Italy in the Euros. I just think he's a taller, bigger Cutrone type player. That's it. Vlahovic, I think, has got everything that you'd want in a striker. So yeah.
What do you think about this? I don't agree with this. I think he needed to leave. Andrea Silva needed to leave.
I think he did need to leave. I do think we gave up on him too early. I don't think he got consistent playing time, and he had did he have Montella as a manager, then Gattuso as a manager, and then the pre-season with Gianpaolo as manager. So he had 3 different managers in that spell. And I wouldn't say we did give up on him a bit too early, but it was the right move. We got Rebic. He got to go play football. You look back at what Rebic did for us last season and what he's done this season, and it was the perfect thing. It's worked well for both sides, and just move on. Look, he might be going to Real Madrid for 60 million. I'd seen last week in the papers, but if he does, good for him. It just wasn't working out, but it is a lesson to be learned that we shouldn't give up. If we're going to go sign young players, we can't just give up on them after 1 or 2 seasons of being rubbish or not performing. They need time to adapt. They need time to grow. But,
yeah, and it's just the fact that we had him for 2 years, 3 years. We gave him a loan to Spain, Sevilla. He didn't do well in Spain as well.
No.
And now he's doing well. What it means is like he's growing as a player.
Yeah, it does.
And the fact that he left AC Milan makes him grow and go to that level. So he needs us to leave.
I don't think we had the patience to let him grow. I think he will become a top striker, but I think what is he now, 24? So you think when we signed him 4 years ago, or even 4 years ago when we signed him, he was only 20. And this is what I mean when we talk about players like Leao, we talk about Tonali, and we write them off after 1 or 2 not so good seasons or where they're still developing. If you're going to sign players and you're going to make that investment, you've got to give them time to grow. But you also need to surround them with some experienced players who can kind of nurture them and mature and help them mature and grow as a footballer, which is right for the team. So I think 1 more year of Ipa with a year with Vlahovic up front too, I think it'd be fantastic, and then be really ready to take the reins and stuff like that. So we'll just have to see.
Yeah, it's the striker position is really complicated. It's really complicated.
it's not easy being a striker in Serie A either, to be fair. It's so the defenders are that good, it's hard to become a good striker. So there's no telling that if he'd have stayed at Milan, he'd have been as good as he is now for Frankfurt. So we did well to get the deal while we could, and it's just one of them. We kind of lost out, but we also gained in Rebic, so I'm fine with it.
No, I'm fine as well. And it's like we didn't give away, like Chelsea did, a player like De Bruyne.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a player like Lukaku. I don't know. It's just he's a good player, but he's not good enough for the Serie A, in my opinion, or for a top 4 team in Serie A. That's the whole thing.
I agree. And, do you know what? It might work. It might have worked well with Inter Silva to be playing alongside someone like Lukaku, a bit like Lautaro does, but no one in Serie A would have taken that punt on him. So it just worked out well that he went.
And we sold him for a lot, like 35 million, something like that, or 25 million.
I can't remember what it worked out as. It was. I know we ended up signing Rebic for 3 million, but I can't remember the way that it worked.
Anyway,
but we did well with it.
Going back to the striker position is such a delicate position that you cannot. You buy a generational talent, and you invest 100 million, like Real Madrid did with Karim Benzema at that time.
Mm-hmm.
They bought from Lyon Karim Benzema. They spent 46 million at that time. I remember he was 19 years old, 20 years old, something like that. And of course, they bought Ronaldo at his prime and Kaká at his prime. So a striker, or you buy a generational player, talent like Haaland or
Milan did with Shevchenko at the time.
Exactly, Milan did with Shevchenko, or Juventus with Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yeah,
from Ajax. There's a lot of examples of that. Or you buy a cheap young player like Kaká. We did with Kaká. There was 8 million. He was a young player that could be a great player, or could it be like really hard to adapt to Serie A. He's a failure.
Yeah.
So, but something in the middle, 40 million for Silva, it doesn't work from outside Serie A. From outside Serie A.
I agree. If Silva would have had the season that Vlahovic has had now, then you'd be like, yeah, because he's already done it in Serie A. Someone that's already done it in Serie A, there's the potential there. Like Immobile, he did it in Serie A. Then he went to Spain. He didn't do so well. He came back. He did well. Belotti had a very good, he kicked off a good season, and then he kind of went quite a bit. He's still scoring goals, but now this season, and I think last season, he's come back and he's scoring goals again. Good strikers in Serie A are hard to find, top strikers, and I think if you're scoring 20 goals at the age of 20 or 21, whatever Vlahovic is, it is worth the investment.
No, it's insane, man. 20 goals in Serie A at the age of 20 years old. It's just crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's even if he scores 10 next season, 15 Ibra and 10 him, is 35 goals, both of them. It's already you have 10 goals more. It's
but
just,
even if he stays at Fiorentina and he scores 10 goals for Fiorentina next year, in 2 seasons, impressive. To score 15 goals on average over 2 seasons is impressive at his age in that Fiorentina side.
No, it's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And what about people are comparing him with Piatek and but I don't know. I haven't seen Piatek before.
I think that's harsh because Piatek kind of did succeed with Milan. I think that second when we signed him, he scored us a lot of goals and he helped us really push towards that top 4. And then we changed the manager and he didn't suit the manager's style of play. And then Pioli came in, and then Ibra came in, and he just got pushed to one side. So I wouldn't necessarily say Piatek flopped with us. I just don't think it worked out the way it should have. Because when he came, he was pretty good, to be fair. I remember when he scored 2 against Napoli in his first game, was it in the Coppa Italia? And he just turned Koulibaly inside out, and Yeah, I actually really liked Piontek. It's a shame that it didn't work out, but again, he's gone to a different league and it's not working, and that's just what happens sometimes. Not just strikers, footballers are fit for certain leagues and certain styles of play and things like that, except your world-class talents who can go into any team and perform. Your generational type of players.
There is a comment here for you. Lucas was saying he didn't show your. So I'm like scared. I don't want Lucas to say I'm unfair. I just didn't check the comment. I just saw the previous comment when he's saying he's basically a young Ibra, which I don't think so. But
that it's fair comparing him to a young Ibra if that's the way that he sees it. But I see Vlahovic as a young Ibra, and again, he scored 20 goals in Serie A. So that's what I'm not saying Scamacca's rubbish, but I'm saying if you look at the two and weigh up the investments, you're going for someone that's already scored 20 goals in Serie A, playing for two bottom to mid-table sides, one being Genoa, one being Fiorentina, and one of them scoring 20 goals, and the other ones, I don't even think he scored 10. So it's a no-brainer, and I think Scamacca's a year older than Vlahovic too, so it's no disrespect to Scamacca, but out of the two, I'd rather pick someone that's already scoring for fun.
At the end of the thing, maybe for sure Scamacca is going to be a really good player, and probably can be even a great player. I'm not doubting that. I really trust, as I said before, Maldini and all the people working with him. So I will say, if they choose Scamacca at the end and not Vlahovic, or even they don't buy no Vlahovic and no Scamacca, and they go and get another player from I don't know where,
Switzerland.
Yeah, exactly.
Wherever.
I'm like, okay, they know what they're doing. They have stats. They have, they know, because the striker or football players, you need to know their personality. You need to sit at the table before you buy them, before you spend money with them, and you need to understand their personality.
Yeah, of course.
It's kind of almost an interview. You need to understand if they're suitable for that position, in that club, in that situation, with that type of pressure. You need to understand that.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
We don't know that. We see just the match. We see the stats. We see the goals. And at the end, we say, that guy did 20 goals. That guy did 5 goals. For sure, the 20 goals is better with the information we have. But when you go and talk with the player, the personality and everything, you understand there is something more that's different, and maybe you can find something better.
I think, like I said, I think when I first came on the podcast, we were talking about young Italian strikers, and they don't seem to hit the prime. Well, they don't seem to come alive until the 26, 27. And that's what I was saying about Belotti, Immobile. Now they're in like the prime years, and now they are kind of scoring for fun. And you look at Cutrone, he's stumbled off the blocks having started well. So a bit like Scamacca, Petagna wasn't doing bad, but again, gone. Paloschi when he was, I think, at Chievo Verona. Destro when he was at Roma, I believe. He had a good season when he was quite young. For the first couple of years, they might be brilliant and they might score you some goals, but then they kind of veer off because they're then at an adaptation stage. So foreign strikers seem to be a better option, and they seem to be the best. I don't think Italy's ever really produced, from what I can remember, a proper number 9 out-and-out goal scorer that scores a lot. I suppose Inzaghi was kind of there, but he wasn't the type of player that would get you 25 goals in a season and hold up play and things like that. Gilardino, maybe you could say that in my era, but again, it's hard. If you look at the last, 12 top scorers in Serie A, they're all foreign, except the Italian ones that are in the prime. You don't really get any young ones. And then you've got someone like Vlahovic, who is trying to chase down Lukaku and who's trying to chase down Ronaldo for the top scorer.
Some people are saying, sorry, I moved this one. But I don't think Scamacca should be cheaper. I don't think Genoa is going to sell it for less.
Well,
and
he's on loan from Sassuolo. is Scamacca. So
Yeah, exactly.
you've
And
got to deal with them. And it's no disrespect to Genoa or Scamacca, but if his competition is Mattia Destro up front and he's still not getting game times or starting as frequently, someone like Vlahovic is, then there's an issue there. If he's this fantastic talent that people, I don't watch a lot of Genoa, so I can't really comment too much. But if he's this fantastic talent, he'll be playing 90 minutes week in, week out, scoring goals, being the leading scorer for Genoa, ahead of Mattia Destro. When you look at Vlahovic, who is doing that for Fiorentina.
yeah, no, and it's really hard to choose which one you're going to buy because we still don't know if we are in Champions League, what kind of season we're going to play. We still don't know if we're going to invest on wings or change the formation or have a different formation next season. There's a lot of questions, so it's really hard to choose which one is the right striker. And you need to see who is going to actually say, you know what, I'm happy to stay in the bench because Ibra is going to play.
Yeah.
You need to see even that type of personality that actually says, you know what, I'm not in a rush to become the leader or the best thing at AC Milan straight away. I can actually stay in the bench and see Ibra playing the big games of when he's fit.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things.
It's a mentality thing. You've got to have the right mentality to come to Milan. You've got to be prepared to sit on the bench. And someone with the hunger and the desire to grow will take that. And I think Vlahovic looks like that type of person that will sit on the bench, but then when he comes on, he'll be like, he'll score or he'll make an impact, and then he'll be saying, whoa, I need to be playing now. I need to be starting. Let me challenge you, blah, blah, blah. And I think there's a very good chance of that. But one thing I am looking forward to about this summer is I think it was, I can't remember if it was Gazidis or not, but it was one of the management said that the transfer budget for the summer has already been written up and it doesn't involve Champions League football, which is quite... That makes me happy. And then if we get Champions League football and you've got that extra income plus the revenue from ticket sales next season, etc., I think we're going to have a very good summer compared to the likes of Inter and Juve, who can't spend a lot.
Yeah. And, we need to get a proper striker, a young goal scorer, somebody who already done a lot of goals, has played a lot, and already is the other guy in Holland who plays with PSV Eindhoven, the Brazilian guy. I think he's Brazilian, or no, I think he's Dutch. Anyway, he's a striker, but kind of the style of Lautaro Martinez. So he's not too tall. He's quick, really technical. I don't know his name. Probably somebody in the chat can help me. What's going on with City?
City is winning 2-0. They're in the final.
But why Lucas is so upset?
Lucas is upset. Always upset.
Why? I mean, that's one thing about the striker. So maybe we need a type of striker that can play different parts of the different positions of our formation. Somebody can play as a wing or as a striker or as a number 10, close to Ibra. So we need to see that one as well in the market. And Lucas, explain us why you're so upset about City going to the final. But yeah. Well, oil club. What about Paris Saint-Germain? Their water club? I don't understand.
It is kind of
disqualified, both of them.
It is interesting that Tuchel brought Paris to the final last year, and now he might bring Chelsea to the final.
Yeah, let's talk about football in general, because we always talk with John about AC Milan. I want to see his point of view on general football, the one that doesn't matter, you know?
Okay. Before that, there's a question for John here.
Oh, go for it.
It says, this is for Jan because he's more familiar with English. Or did you guys already do this?
No, we didn't do this yet.
Okay. This is for Jan because he's more familiar with the English league. Am I the only one who isn't really optimistic going forward with American ownership with Gazidis up front, Arsenal v2?
I really don't watch that much English football because I'm not a massive fan of it. But I'm optimistic going forward with them. We had like the Chinese ownership that came in and they financially crippled us. The end of Berlusconi time was just not interested anymore. Didn't really invest much. And then you've got Elliott that have come in and they've made. You look at Paqueta, you look at Piontek, they made them purchases, they paid in cash, they showed the capabilities that they can just go out and spend that money. Then you look at when they signed Tonali, it was a good deal for Tonali the way that it's been done. So I'm actually very optimistic. We're bringing down the debt every year. We're being more financially stable, and if financial fair play does go, I think they'll invest heavily in Milan to try to take them back to the top. So I'm really excited about this because when he was at Arsenal, he actually did a lot of good for Arsenal. If you look into it, obviously Arsenal fans might not like him, but you've got to look at the ownership too. Even though Gazidis is left, they're probably doing significantly worse now without him there. And the ownership there doesn't want to spend money. They're just more interested in about making it. So I think it's two different scenarios. But in terms of Milan, he's doing a good job for now. If we do become a selling club, then I won't be happy about it. But at the moment, since Elliott's arrived, Maldini's come back, we're starting to look like Milan again, and we're starting to look like a team that we can take seriously once more, and that's given us a bit of hope.
Yeah, I agree, and I think Gazidis is not making technical decision. Thank God. When he was doing that, it was a mess, and that's why Maldini is so crucial in that club. Maldini is the glue between the ownership and the supporters and the team. So he knows how much money the ownership is going to put in, and he knows how to spend that money in the right way. So I'm happy for that. I don't care if the owners are American or Russians or English. I really don't care. Yeah, wherever they come from, I don't care what the business is. I mean, I care if it's a legal business. That's the only thing I care. But whatever they do, I don't give a shit. The only thing I want from them is to invest in a proportional way. So let's say AC Milan needs to get the top 4, they need to invest properly to get the top 4. That's my only thing I care. I don't want them to buy 200 million football player or Haaland, Mbappe, and stuff like that. I really believe you can win everything without them. We've seen that.
What I will say is this summer will be huge to tell what their real aspirations are for the club. So I'll go off the scenario that we met top 4 because I'm pretty sure that we will. And the investment will be there to be made. If they invest properly and they're willing to back the manager or whoever then, or if we change managers, whoever that is, I'll take him seriously. If they don't back the manager and they try to get some cheap little free signings or they overpay wages for players, then I'll be like, they're not serious. But at the moment, they've done pretty much everything right. The second they think they've made a bad decision, like with Paqueta or Piontek, they've just got rid of them straight away. No messing around. And we've actually been able to sell them for a bit of money. So I'm very optimistic for these. But this summer will be a big one to tell what the real intentions are behind them.
Yeah. And they really need to know that if they want to make money with football, because they bought the club for 250 million, and probably they want to sell it for 500 or a billion, whatever is their final goal at the end, they need to invest on the team. And I'm not saying big player, but they need to invest smart. They need to invest on talent, player that wins games, and you need to go at least top 4 every season. Every season you need to go top 4 easily, without struggling. Easily. It's not about winning the Serie A. I understand winning the Serie A is like when all the planets go in the same line. That's an incredible achievement, or winning the Champions League. But top 4 is something you can plan, you can invest, and you can achieve, at least in Serie A.
I don't know why Milan fans seem to think we should be winning Serie A every year, because for the last 20 years we've won it twice, even in a glory period under Ancelotti. So we've never exactly been a club that cares about winning the Serie A. It's more about dominating in Europe, making a name in Europe, and just consistently finishing in the top four. Obviously, we want to win the league titles. I'm not saying that. I just mean we're not the type of club that seems to hang too much on winning the league. It's more about just trying to title challenge, maybe, but just going further in Europe, because that's where more money is in Italy. You don't get loads of money by winning the league. You get money by competing in Europe. So that's where they need to go.
Yeah. I think one thing that Milan should always do, and I think even I remember a lot of coaches have said this, Ancelotti has said this, Allegri has said it, but even though Milan is not this team that focuses on Serie A as much as they focus on the Europe, the objective of Milan is always to be in the top four, and they're obligated to fight for the Scudetto. Now, whether they win it or not, I don't think it's been something that traditionally the fans have cared that much about. Our thing has always been Europe, so that's true. But Milan is obligated to do two things. Always to be in the top four, and when they are in the top four, they're obligated to fight for the Scudetto. Whether they win it or not, it doesn't matter.
I think they should be challenging for the title, but if Milan missed out on the title by 10 points every year, I don't think I'd be too annoyed. When you look how missed out previous years by like 30 points, that's a joke. That shouldn't be happening. But 10 points, 8 points, I can accept with that. I'd rather see my club week in, week out in Europe than obviously I'd rather us win the league, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. I'd just rather watch us play in Europe against the big guns going to the semi-finals of the Champions League. It's what I grew up watching. It's what you guys have seen too. Like, I've celebrated, realistically, I've celebrated one Scudetto, maybe two when we won it in the early 2000s, but that's it. My celebration with Milan's been in Europe and watching us get to semi-finals, finals, quarter-finals. So I think, and that's most of the generation of Milan fans now that are coming through. That's what they've seen. So
Milan doesn't have a tradition of winning many Scudettos in a row. I mean, because when I was for Milan, they won in the early 90s with Asaki once, I think. Then they won with Capello in 93. Then they won in 96. Then in 99. Then 2004, 2011. So there's a lot of years there in between.
Listen, looking at the teams they win the league in a long run win, let's say Juventus 9 times in a row, Bayern Munich another 9 times in a row, something like that. Paris Saint-Germain not struggling at all. Those teams that win it constantly, they win it for two reasons. One is because they have by far a better team than the others, and two, because they play in a weak league, objectively a weaker league than what used to be Serie A when once everyone was winning it. AC Milan, Roma, Inter, Juventus, Lazio. Everyone was competing to win it. So it was really a challenge. And Premier League is a bit similar. Yeah, Manchester City is going to win the next season, but no one knows who is going to win the next season. Probably Chelsea or Liverpool is coming back, or Manchester United. So I would prefer to be in a league, in a Serie A with that type of level. So I don't want to dominate, win it 9 times in a row like Juventus did. I prefer to have a Serie A that all the big teams are there trying to win it and dominate Europe like we did, and be there top 4 every time. But winning it 4 or 5 times in a row, it feels like you are competing in a weaker league.
Yeah, all Juve have done, all Paris Saint-Germain have done, Bayern Munich have done. Every year, the one team that's kind of challenged them or got near them, or the one player that's given them a bit of aggro in the 2 games they've played, they've just picked them up out of that club because they can, and they're taking it, and they've just got stronger, but they've weakened the other teams. Back then in Serie A, that wasn't really the case. Juventus won't go and pick up. They couldn't have gone and picked a car out of Milan. They couldn't have gone and picked Adriano, for example. It's something that they couldn't do. Now what all Juventus did was when they wanted somebody, they'd go grab Kulusevski from Parma. I know that helped. Higuain from Napoli, Chiesa from Fiorentina. That's all.
best young
That's all
player.
they're doing. They're just grabbing players from every club, making ways. By Munich do it. We like Leipzig. They take Upamecano, Dortmund. They took Lewandowski, Götze, Mats Hummels, and it's just all these clubs doing. It's how they kind of survive and how they run, but it's just not competition. So I'd rather, if they want to do that, go ahead, do that. But I'd take a Champions League over 9 Scudettos in a row anytime.
Yeah,
But let's also be honest about something. If Milan was dominating the Serie A 5 times in a row, plus winning the Champions League, we'd be very happy.
Yeah, of course.
but it's not Serie A. It's not the Serie A. I know. That's the thing. I grew up watching the Serie A, and I always seen even the strongest team dominating for 1 or 2 seasons in a row. Maybe I remember Inter dominated a lot because Juventus went in Serie B, and they got all the best players from Juventus, and they dominate for 4 years, something like that.
And then
Milan winning the Champions Leagues. Milan were going to the finals of the Champions Leagues, which is, for me, I'd rather do that than win the league.
100%.
Always the domination comes because the other big teams, they just collapse in Serie A.
That is true. Yeah.
It's never a domination that actually, you know what, I'm better at you at buying players, I'm better at you, same budget, I'm better at you at having a better manager, better money. The only moment a team dominates Serie A because they were better at doing everything was AC Milan, Sacchi and Capello.
Yeah.
Because everyone had the money at that time in Serie A. Inter had money, Napoli, Juventus, they had big players, and still we dominated in Serie A.
It was the biggest league in the world.
Yeah,
It was the biggest league in the world.
And also Serie A was dominated the UEFA Cup at that time. So it wasn't just the top 4. It was even the guys underneath the top 4.
Milan would have dominated Serie A the decade just gone where Juventus have done it if Berlusconi and Galliani, I'll praise them for what they did for Milan, of course I will. But the last few years, they ruined us. If Barbara hadn't said no to Tevez, and we'd have kept Pirlo, and we'd have made a couple more, and we'd have kept Ibra, we'd have kept Thiago Silva, we'd have then done what Juventus done, and we'd have won the league year on year, picking out the talents. I don't discredit Juventus for doing it, but it's just not something. You haven't got competition if you're taking the competition, bringing the competition to your team. You're just weakening everything. But Milan could have done that if we'd have signed Tevez or someone when we should have done. Then it'd have been a totally different decade. We wouldn't be in the situation that we're in now, I don't think. But it's just one of them things. But
yeah, there's also to add, though, Jan, that Berlusconi had a $500 million lawsuit, which kind of derailed Milan's trajectory.
Yeah, no, I'm not. It's not disputing that, but you look at when we sold Kaká or when we sold Shevchenko, we didn't reinvest that money properly. We didn't go out and buy a new Kaká. We didn't go out and buy a new Sheva. We just. I don't really know what we did with that money. I can't remember what we did with that money. When we sold Ibra and Thiago Silva, I know it was to balance the books and help out. But
we got Oliveira.
Yeah, and look, I was excited for Oliveira, but it's still not the same thing. I was really excited for him after what he did at Real Betis. But when we sold Ibra, when we sold Thiago Silva, and what we replaced him with Matre, it's just not going to happen, and that's what it just ruined us. We could have picked Carlos Tevez up. I think it was a free at the time or dirt cheap, and he wanted to come to Milan, and then Barbara and Silvio, they blocked it, and that's what took Juve just slightly above us, and that's what began their dominance.
No, you're right, and even Braida made a terrible mistake during, I believe it was Leonardo's reign with Bale. So Milan was interested in Bale, and they had courting Bale for a lot, and they really wanted to go for Bale. But Braida was the guy who was saying, no, I don't think Bale has a future. I don't think he's going to become anything special. So, they definitely lost a step towards the end there.
It was just the last few years of that era, the Berlusconi Galliani era, when Braida was there too, it ruined us. There was a point where Galliani were interested in Neymar. We could have had Neymar. We were the best club in the world. Do you know what I mean? Everybody wanted to play for Milan. We could have had someone like Neymar, and they just didn't want to invest anymore. And I get the lawsuit and all that, but come on, you Milan. You put for the best part of 25 years, you was pumping money in. You was buying the best, and then for the last 5-6 years, you just let it go, and it ruined us. And it's the situation we're in now, where we're trying to rebuild it.
Yeah. I really do think, Bo, that the lawsuit, the financial fair play, and the tax laws in Italy that changed in the early 2000s had a big part to do with it too.
Yeah,
aside from what you're saying.
Yeah. That's fair enough. But then, if you can't commit to the spending anymore, sell a share to the Arabs when they wanted to buy us in 2009. You sell a share, then you say, look, I'm keeping majority stake, but I need someone to come in and help with the investments and keep us where we're at, and they just didn't do it.
It was a lot of money. Basically, AC Milan had a value of 1 billion at that time, so they made 1 billion selling AC Milan. So basically, they bought AC Milan for a ridiculous amount of 30 million in the late 80s or something like that, and they sold it for 1 billion. So it was the time he ended. Part of the family didn't care about AC Milan anymore. Berlusconi is basically 90 years old, so he's going to die so soon. So he's like, I need to sell this thing, make 1 billion, and put it to the family, pocket and everything, and that's it. But going back to, I think we had an interesting comment about Donnarumma. Sorry, because Lucas is being quite active today. Donnarumma wants to win trophies without struggling, basically. Like every kid now wants to win trophies without struggling. They just want to go to the team that already is winning trophies, put their position there, and keep winning with that team. My question is, are you going to go with Manchester City? Is you winning the trophy, or is Manchester City winning the trophy? Guardiola winning the trophy?
Sorry, guys, I just want to interrupt, Bo. But let's be careful how we're framing this, because this is just a snippet of the quote. Like when he said, "I want to win trophies," what did he say before? What was the context?
I know that he had the interview, but I haven't watched it, and I'm just the whole Donnarumma situation for me now is done. I honestly don't care what happens to him. I don't think he'll ever be able to become a Milan legend again, not in the fans' eyes. And I know that'll be hard for some people to hear, but the Curva Sud turned their back on Maldini, for God's sake, who won 5 Champions Leagues. Do you really think they're going to care about Donnarumma in 2 years' time? It's nothing. It's a situation that's done. If he stays, bonus, we've got a good goalkeeper. If he goes, thank God the saga's over. Let's move on and invest some money elsewhere. Obviously, any player wants to win trophies, but like Larry said, all they want to do now is they don't want to fight for trophies. They just want to go to the best club and win a trophy at the best club, and then they'll get bored and they want to move on. If you say you love Milan and you believe in Milan and the project, you believe that you want to win trophies here, you'd make the difference in games to win the trophies at the end of the day. You wouldn't just go to a team that's already winning it and then doing all the work just for you to get a medal. It's pointless.
I don't understand this. That's such a crazy thing. It's like they're talking about this even with Harry Kane in England here. They're saying, Harry Kane deserves to go to a bigger team and win trophies because Tottenham is never going to win anything and stuff like that. The problem is Tottenham is doing nothing, or is managing really bad what they're doing. So Harry Kane is like, okay, you guys are not doing the job properly. I'm doing 20 goals a season, and you're not doing the job properly. So I'm leaving. But Donnarumma on the other side is 22 years old. He had just a good season now, and that's it on his portfolio. And now that AC Milan is actually going for that phase of winning some trophies and winning something, he's not patient. It's not like, guys, I'm going to wait another 3 years, 4 years. I'm going to sign a 5 years contract. And if we are not selling anything, I'm just leaving with a release clause of 60 million, 50 million. which is fair for everyone. It's fair for AC Milan. At the end, AC Milan can get 50 million out of that. It's fair for Donnarumma because if he's the player he thinks he is, in 3 years can go to a big team and win everything. So why he doesn't do that? But he wants to leave now. It's easy to leave now. I think he's not going to win anything if he leaves now. He's a soft kid, and he's not going to win a lot.
All right, I want to share my two sorry, I want to share my 2 cents on this.
Sorry, Roy,
Yeah,
I've got to go, so I'll carry on listening,
Okay.
but I just can't.
All right, got you. All right, Jam, thank you so much, my man.
It's
Thank
all
you,
right.
man.
What I will say is, I know you said about 10 minutes ago before we got onto Donnarumma topic about talking football in general. If you want to do something later this week, we can do. Talking about just normal football.
All right, yeah. Let's talk football podcast.
Yeah, man. All right.
See you, man.
See you later, guys.
See you, Jam. Look,
Bye.
this is my thing about Donnarumma, right? A lot of these newspapers are lying. They're saying bullshit. And one of the reasons why a lot of it is just clickbait. And they're using, and Pioli even said this in one of his conferences, is like these journalists are using Donnarumma to create clickbait, and they're destabilizing the team. Like, for example, when those the Curva Sud people, whatever, came out to contest Donnarumma that day, the newspapers framed it in a certain way. But what did Maldini came out? What did Maldini say? Maldini said that the way they set it up is that they're going to do the negotiations at the end of the season. That's the way they set it up. That's the rules. Those are the rules of the game. All right. If Maldini would have just said this earlier, that would have solved a lot of situations. But this is why essentially they haven't come to an agreement yet. It's because the club has decided that they're going to wait till the end of the season. The players didn't decide that. The clubs decided that. So already that takes away a lot of all this crazy shit that is going on around Donnarumma. The other thing is, on this particular thing that Lucas said, he says, I want to win trophies. This seems, how is this framed? Is this framed as in I want to win trophies, therefore I want to leave Milan because I don't think Milan is going to win trophies? Or was he just answering a question, what are your ambitions, etc.? He says, I want to win trophies. That could mean I want to win trophies with Milan. I want to win trophies with Italy. I think we are, go ahead.
But if that is your ambition, you don't complain between, I don't want 8, I want 12. Your ambition is to win trophy, not to become the richest football player in Europe. So get the 8 million and start winning trophies. Start focusing on your ambition, which is winning trophy, not becoming the richest player in Europe.
But this is where, is it Raiola doing this or is it the player? And again, or Laert, is it just the journalists?
I believe it's a bit of everything. I believe the journalists are making it bigger than what it is. I believe everything, what Raiola and AC Milan are talking at the moment is, if you don't go in Champions League, I want 12 million. If you go in Champions League, I'm going to get 8 million from you. Because you're going to give me a bigger stage to show my player. I'm going to make money with sponsorship and endorsement. And Donnarumma is going to be the best goalkeeper in the next 5 years because he's going to play the Champions League. But if you don't give me the Champions League and you want to keep the player, you have to give me 12 million. So that's, in my opinion, the talk. That's the talk. And for me,
that's where Raiola seems to be, right.
For me, it's unfair because still, we worked a lot on the guy. We made sure that he can grow up and become the player he is now. So I'm expecting from Raiola a gentleman agreement like, okay, let's sign a 5 years deal with a release clause of 40 million. 40 million is fair. So if somebody comes and really wants a good goalkeeper, pays 40 million at the end of the story. An 8 million contract. So the next contract is going to sign is going to be a 12 million or something like that. Let's in between or something,
Yeah, Yeah, no, I mean these things about the contracts. These are excellent points that you're making, and they definitely raise a lot of questions about integrity, honor, and ambitions, and greed, and all this stuff. I've just noticed recently that a lot of this anger and a lot of this commotion, even the way that Curva Sud thing was framed by the newspapers, even that was wrong. It wasn't so bad as they're making it seem.
Yeah, true.
We're sometimes, and I felt, I want to say, I'm the first to admit that I fell for that shit. Okay, like this whole season I fell for that shit. I don't think it's as bad as it seems to be as far as the newspapers go.
Yeah, and it's so weird that newspapers are talking just for Donnarumma and AC Milan. No newspaper is talking about Juventus. No
Right.
newspaper is talking about other things. Just about Donnarumma and AC Milan. They want to put the pressure on AC Milan. They really don't want AC Milan to go top four. The big newspapers in Italy don't like that. I don't know why.
You think that the newspapers are like trying to destabilize purposely?
It's been all
trying to
season.
destabilize?
Why they care how much money Donnarumma wants? Who
That's a good
cares?
point.
Why are you always talking about Donnarumma in every week?
But they do that because people click on the links.
Yeah, I never read any news about it. I just follow Raiola on Twitter. Everything Raiola says on Twitter is religion, is a fact. That's what it is. Anything else, I don't give a shit. Because at the end, Raiola and Maldini knows what's going to happen. No one else. And I don't believe Raiola saying, "Oh, a lot of clubs wants Donnarumma." I don't believe at all.
Yeah, and this thing about Mourinho, it is proof that whatever the newspapers say, like even like you just said, you don't believe, like newspapers say Chelsea won this guy, Chelsea won. It's all bullshit. We don't. It's all bullshit. Nobody in their imagination ever thought Mourinho was going to go to Roma. Where were all these great journalists that predict the future? Where were they? Why
They are
didn't
not
we
even
ever?
clever. They don't read the lines, how we say. Mourinho says, there is a chance I can come back in Italy. No one wrote an article saying, maybe there's a chance Mourinho is going to come back to Italy.
Well, there were some that were speculating Juventus. There were some that I did see some that were speculating Juventus, or rather, not necessarily more so fans. But how could you not know that? Like, you're here telling us what is going to happen 5 months from now in the transfer market and negotiating deals, but you can't even fucking tell us a day before, or even give a rumor a week or 2 weeks before that Mourinho is going to be joining Roma. These guys are just regular people that are just sitting in front of Word and just writing shit because they need quotas and they need fucking
Exactly. And it's so sad because it's weird. They are so bad at their job that no club trusts them anymore. No club gives them information because it's a fact. Because I remember at the time Galliani was talking with some journalists and was giving some information like, "Oh, we are talking with the agent of this player." He was giving some information because the journalist on the other side was treating well the club, wasn't like being a piece of shit with the club. And you can see on the Donnarumma situation, they are such a bad journalist. They use everything to go against any club, whatever club it is. They go against Pirlo, they go against Donnarumma, they go against Conte and Inter when they don't have the finance to pay the players. They do everything to go against clubs because clubs, they don't give any information of what's going on. And they just put a new player, Belotti, Vlahovic, of AC Milan, and stuff like that. It's just you cannot trust them. They don't know anyone in the club to give you information.
Right. It's become literally an industry that has lost all of its integrity, all of it. Just zero integrity, zero honor, just bullshit.
Yeah, just bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
All the time bullshit.
I mean, there is a reason why people go on YouTube to get information and don't read any more newspapers. Yeah,
Right.
that's a fact.
Yeah. So I think that Donnarumma will sign for Milan. He will stay for Milan for another season. I think he is going to stay most of his career at Milan. Eventually, this thing about the contract is going to disappear. I don't think Donnarumma is going anywhere. My personal sensation, my personal instinct, it says that Donnarumma is not going anywhere. Knock on wood.
Yeah, I want to close with this comment, which kind of agree. It's like it's not even important anymore if Donnarumma goes or stays. To be fair, the only thing that matters at the moment is just us going top 4. We go top 4. Who wants to stay is gonna stay. Who wants to leave can leave. That's fine.
I mean, look, if we make the top 4, you know, everything is going to be solved. That's it. Like we have, everybody's going to stay. Çalhanoğlu is going to stay. Romagnoli is going to stay. We're not going to make any. We're not going to make major. Maybe they are, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to make many different signings. You know, they're going to maybe buy 2 or 2 maximum big players, and then maybe another player like a bench warmer. But if they don't make the Champions League, guys, it's over. Forget about it. If we don't make the Champions League this season, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. The team is going to crumble. I don't know if Pioli is going to stay. They might start a whole new cycle. They might take it back from scratch and start all over again.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I feel like it's weird. It's weird because we can still make it top 4 with 6 points. That's incredible. That's the funny thing, because Juventus can literally lose 2 games. They can lose 2 games, man. They can lose against Sassuolo and Inter. They are not good. They are not good. And Lazio is not going to win all of them. They're going to lose points. So I don't think that the teams that are running for Champions League are so good and so solid that actually we lose against Juventus that we don't make it anymore. I don't think it's so solid.
Yeah. We do have the most difficult one. The most difficult.
I think we're gonna be the last game against Atalanta. We're gonna play the last game against Atalanta. That we need 1 point. And believe me, because I know how things works in Italy, we need 1 point. Atalanta is gonna give us that point. He's not gonna play football. Believe me.
You think Atalanta is gonna? Maybe it's possible. It is possible Atalanta will do Milan a favor. These kind of things happen, especially Atalanta is in Lombardia, right?
Yeah, it's there. They are there. They do business together.
They do business together.
They buy the loan players. You cannot throw away 50 million from a club just because you want to win a useless game. It doesn't work like this in Italy. You cannot do something like that to AC Milan.
I think you're 1,000,000% right about this for sure.
They are businessmen at the end of the whole thing, and the president of Atalanta is gonna be like, you cannot do something like that to a club that is 50 kilometers far away from us, and we do business with them. We know them for years. We always buy and sell players with them. What is the reason to win that game and throw them away from the Champions League? They need a point. We give them that point at the end of the season.
It is something that they would do in Italy for sure. And also, Atalanta has used the San Siro for the Champions League too. So there's definitely that inner region collusion, if you want to call it something. So it's very interesting.
I would do the same. I would do the same for any club, even for Inter, to be fair. Even for Inter. If I already won the league, for example, and Inter needs 1 point. It doesn't need to win; it needs 1 point to get in champion to get top 4. AC Milan is gonna give it to them. It's not gonna do that because it's really bad. It's something really bad. It's not like it's. If you're a mid-table team, you need 3 points. You can do that thing, but.
Yeah, let's see. Charity. So let's see. Let's hope that we won't have to rely on charity. Eastbourne says that he thinks Belotti is going to. If Belotti gets us out of the top 4, he's definitely not coming to Milan. So maybe it's in Belotti's interest not to do that.
Torino is not a problem because Cagliari and Benevento are playing against each other next week, this Sunday. So one of them is going to relegate this week. So Torino is going to be safe.
Right.
Cagliari and Benevento are playing against each other.
Yeah, that is actually a really good point. Let me bring out that table because if by the time we play against Torino, yeah, go ahead.
I wanna say this to Esbon. You can go with that. You go and check the previous years. A lot of games in Serie A, the betting companies, they wouldn't put it available, and it's not fixing game. It's just they know no one is gonna ruin the business of other teams, so they just don't put it on the betting system. And believe me, if AC Milan and Atalanta needs 1 point the last game, that game is not going to be in the betting system 100%. And you're going to say, and Edmond, you're going to come to me and let me know what you think after, if they need 1 point to go in Champions League together.
I mean, Italy is like that, guys. It is for sure. Definitely. Okay, so let's look at. So Crotone is out, 18. They're done. Parma is definitely Serie B. Benevento, Cagliari, Spezia, Torino. I mean, Torino is in a good position. They're going to be fine.
Torino is going to play against Napoli, man.
Torino's playing against Napoli? Oh, shit.
Yes. And Cagliari is playing against Benevento. Torino is winning against Napoli. He's saved. He's not going to play against AC Milan. And that's it.
That's easier than said, to say that Torino is going to win against Napoli. I don't think Napoli is going to give Torino an easy game.
No, I'm kidding. Probably Torino, if he gets a draw, it's going to be like, wow. They're going to be so happy.
No, listen, to me, it seems that we have 4 games that are going to be the biggest 4 games that the most importance I have ever seen in Serie A in a long time for Milan. And it's all 4 against 4 teams. Cagliari, that is fighting for this spot right here, the 17th spot. Torino, that wants to make sure that they stay in the relegation, out of the relegation zone. Juventus is a team that needs to finish in the top 4 because of the finances and all that stuff. And then Atalanta, this team that nobody can freaking beat.
Maybe I'm wrong with Torino Napoli, but probably Napoli is playing against Torino or against Fiorentina. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll check it right now just to make sure. Oh no, Napoli is playing against Spezia. Sorry guys, misinformation. So Torino is playing against Verona, Napoli, Udinese. I remember Torino was playing against Milan. Torino, Spano. So Torino is playing. He's playing against Lazio. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Lucas, for the information. Anyway. So Roy,
hey, just to cut out of Milan for 1 second. So Guardiola made his final. He's in the finals now.
Yeah.
Hey, Larry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. So Guardiola, Manchester City won 3-1. Guardiola made his finals. What do you think?
Well, it was how long he's been at City? I think 5 years, if I'm not wrong.
It's been there a long time.
4 or 5
Finally,
years. Yeah,
a
it's
billion, a billion euros later.
yeah, a lot of money later, but they generate a lot of money as well. Their revenues are around 600 million a year, something like that. So
Mamma mia.
it's fair to spend a lot of money if you generate 600 million revenues. And profit, I think they don't do profit every year, but still, they don't need to do profit. They just need to cover expenses, and that's it. So that's the fact. You need time to get some results. Sometimes you're lucky. If you remember Jurgen Klopp when he moved to Liverpool, I don't think the first season he made it top four. The first 2 seasons he struggled a lot. He started to win the third season. I think he finished second in Premier League, and he won the Champions League the third season. And fourth season he won the Premier League. So it takes time for, especially to succeed at a high level. And what Conte did with Inter was he brought Inter from the fourth position to the second position, and from the second position to the first position in 2 years with a lot of money and in a clever way, tactically really prepared. But if you want to win with great football and win in Europe and at home, domestic league, you need time. You need time. That's why I'm happy that AC Milan is following that way, the long path, that it actually takes time. But when you get there, you are more solid and you can win. You can have a longer run. And even City took a lot in the beginning. They were struggling with Pellegrini. They got Mancini, and second year Mancini won the Premier League, and slowly they build up this team that is a good club, man. They can play every season and try to win everything because they are solid. They don't rely on big players. They can put another player and keep going and winning. That's how I want to see AC Milan. I want to see AC Milan that doesn't rely on big players.
Yeah, it is something to be extraordinarily noted that all these teams that made the semifinal are teams with incredible revenue. Just massive amounts of revenue. So I don't know what that means for teams like us, but both Real Madrid, I mean, how much revenue do they make, and how what's the worth of that squad? Manchester City, same thing. PSG has players that they pay 30 million a year, and then the dark horse, not really, is Chelsea. I mean, the fact that an oil tycoon owner is a dark horse is crazy. It's crazy where it has come to.
And
I wonder
if you
what-
think, sorry, finish. Sorry, because
No, yeah, that was it. Keep on going.
no, and think going back to the comment Lucas did before, oil money. If Lucas knows what Elliot does as a business, he will be like, "Oh, bring the oil money. They are cleaner than the money." How Elliot
Right.
makes his money, because Elliot
Elliot,
is a real not a recommendable person in a business world.
here in the
He's really
States, he has a terrible reputation.
terrible
Yeah,
reputation.
terrible.
I don't want to
And
do business with him.
he's caused some small cities in America to completely collapse because of some of his business.
He causes entire countries in South America and Africa to collapse.
Okay, there you go.
So he's really bad. He's really bad. So
At
I
least
hope
the
he's
oil,
cleaning his reputation.
at least the oil guys are providing energy. At least that. If you want to really
Yeah,
get
all
some,
guys, they are dictators of countries. They have oil. We know that. Fuck it. Russian guys are dictators of Russia. They just control the entire country. These guys, they control Wall Street, which is kind of being a dictator of another country. So
Yeah.
you choose whatever you choose, you don't go well. You still go. You just need to. I don't know, man. Just hope they spend money in a good way. That's it. Anyway, we gotta close this, boy.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna bring in some people before I close. I still have. Oh no, you know what? I have 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Let's bring in one person left, and then we'll close in 15 minutes. I have to go in literally 15 minutes. So whoever wants to come in, you are welcome. Just one person. In the meantime, let me see. Antonio says, "Hey guys, if you could address one position this summer, what would it be?" Like,
The number 10.
really? I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting that.
Just
was
that's
not
the
expecting.
player. I want a player that actually is like MVP of the Serie A next season. That level.
Wow.
I
And
want a player that other team says, if I have that player, I can win the Serie A, but we don't have it.
nice. Which one? Give me some names.
Oh, it's so difficult and it's not easy, man. It's like I'm thinking. Let me think. What about you? Answer the question. I'm thinking about the number 10.
I've already said it. It's the right wing and the center forward. And my two names are Belotti and Berardi. But if I were to choose a number 10, my preferred number 10 would be Isco.
Mm. I'm actually thinking big now. I'm thinking proper like.
Oh, you're thinking like superstar, baby.
Yeah, I'm thinking big. I'm thinking like. Let me think, man. I don't know.
Depay?
Huh?
Esports says Depay.
Uh,
Safe says Marcel Sabitzer of Leipzig.
can
And
be Bruno De Bruyne. No, they're not moving, man. I'm trying to think about someone that actually can move, can go somewhere.
and Chelsea with the Russians.
Yeah, no one is clean in that. Carlo Moretti.
All right, guys, listen. 10 minutes. So I want to
ask
bring.
Carlo Moretti if he wants to join us.
Yeah, anybody who wants to join us, but just one person, guys. 10 minutes, and then I have to close. And I want you to tell me what you think about Inter, Mourinho, and if we win the top four. All right? So let's do this.
How do you give them the link, man?
I'll just put it here in the chat.
So let's, who's gonna, here we go.
Let's get a taker. Guys, Ben, I have literally 9 minutes, and then I have to close.
Oh, man, I'm still thinking of the number 10. It's really hard to find the number 10.
A superstar number 10. Are there any, really, right now? I
was thinking about the guy is playing for Arsenal, and he's a Real Madrid player. Martin Odegaard.
Oh, right, and he's a youngster, right? And he's not getting much. He's not getting much games, right? He's not getting much time. I mean, I guess Brahim Diaz is a future potential superstar in that position, but not anytime now.
Or even Coutinho. Odegaard is good, yeah. Or Coutinho, if he's still at the level when Bayern Munich won the Champions League. Because he's not playing at all for Barcelona. He clearly wants to leave. Coutinho is a great number 10, and he used to play for Inter, so it'll be great to win with him.
Coutinho, yeah.
Oh, yeah, this guy is good. James Maddison. But Leicester is not... He's not going to leave from Leicester, at least next season now, for sure.
Right. I can't really think of the superstars number 10s right now. That is pretty crazy to think that we used to have so many. It's almost
Yeah,
like football doesn't really use that position as much anymore, which is strange
yeah. Or
because it's
I would take Zaniolo.
Zaniolo number 10.
Yeah, I would put him close to Ibra, coming to the midfield and getting the ball and playing like Kaká. I would tell him to play like Kaká, basically.
He is kind of similar to Kaká in the way he runs with the ball, but Kaká was just more flair. Kaká had much more.
Yeah, Kaká had more the Brazilian style,
Right. Yeah. But
but he has a strong left foot. He can.
yeah, and Zaniolo runs with the ball. It's poetry. When Zaniolo takes speed and runs with the ball, it literally looks like poetry in motion. The
Yeah, and
guy,
I've seen him at the age of 19 playing like he's been playing forever in his life football against Real Madrid, for example. Have you seen that game?
no. What is it?
He did 2 goals against Real Madrid in Champions League.
Oh, really? When was
Yeah,
this?
I think 2 years ago or a year ago before the injury. He was 19 or 18, something like that, and he was scoring goals in single playing without any fear. There is someone coming and joining us.
All right, guys. So here we have our last guest of the day, Saif Najjar.
What's up, man?
What's up, guys? How are you doing?
Good.
How
How
you
are
doing,
you?
Saif?
I'm fine, thank you.
Saif, let me ask you, what do you think about Inter winning the Scudetto?
Well, it was kind of expected. Uh, like I said, I was showing them like hell. I was saying they're an overrated team, but deep inside, I was pretty sure that they were gonna hit on form. Like once they beat Juve in that 2-0 game, I was like, okay, they're gonna win now. Like once that happened and we lost the game against Spezia, I was okay. I considered the fact that they were gonna win the championship. So fuck Inter. I don't like them, but what you have to respect them. Like they deserve the Scudetto this year.
Oh, okay. Sportsmanship. I like it. Sportsmanship.
Yeah.
But when it actually happened, did it hit you? Did you think, oh shit, they actually did it?
I mean, it was like a huge kick in the nuts because I think with this Scudetto they are one more than us with 19.
Yes, right.
Yeah, and that kind of sucked. Like I wish that next season we could challenge them, but I think it would be early for that. I think we're gonna need at least like 2 maybe 3 years to actually like be strong contenders for the league because I think Inter is gonna also win it next season in case Lukaku and Hakimi stay in the team.
Yeah, and if Inter win the Scudetto again, they get the second star, and that will just kill me, man. It will kill me. If Inter get the second star before Milan, that will just destroy me.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we need some signings. Like we need 2 or 3 players like to even be in the conversation to possibly like push them to the limit. I don't really think it's gonna be enough to win the Scudetto next year.
No, I don't think so. Not yet. What about Mourinho? What have you thought about Mourinho joining Roma?
I mean, first of all, it was unexpected. I haven't really seen much news about it. I saw his quote where he was open to joining another Serie A team, but I never really expected it. Like I opened Instagram and I was shocked, really. It's actually, in my opinion, it's good for the Serie A. An actual top coach coming in. Like he's not the same Mourinho of 2010, maybe 2013, but he's still a top manager. And I think with the right funds provided by the Roma leadership, I think he can be a success. Because if you actually give him money and let him build a team, I think he's a dangerous coach.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to take him a little bit of a while before being able to compete for, like the next year is going to be just his first year. The first year, you're not going to get much. his obligation would probably be to make the Europa League, I think, next year. I think it can be a short-term project. This has to be a long-term project. Like his goal is in 2 or 3 years to bring the Roma to Champions League.
I'm not sure how long it's gonna take because, in my opinion, Roma is a very average team. Like they have young, exciting players, but Mourinho isn't really about that. He doesn't really deal with young players well. Like in Chelsea, he had so many young superstars, but he chose like well-established guys, to like Fabregas to win the league. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be a successful project. But if he has enough money and he can buy superstars, I think it could be. It's a 50-50 for me.
I hope Mourinho says, I don't want Zaniolo, sell it, and we buy him. That's the only thing I want to hear from him. That's
Zaniolo.
I will risk 30 million for Zaniolo.
I don't know about that, man. I'm not sure it's gonna be the same player I'm not sure it's gonna be the same player after all the injuries, honestly.
I would pay
For me,
100 million for Zaniolo.
After coming off from 2 nasty injuries, I'm not sure, honestly, if that name excites me that much as it did before.
You know what? It is true that he's had 2 really bad injuries, both knees, same injury. He is still young. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to happen again. And it doesn't necessarily mean that's going to change the way he will play. It could, but not necessarily. It's not for sure. It's not a given. Even Del Piero had a nasty injury, and a lot of people said that he was never going to come back, but Del Piero definitely came back. So, and Totti too. Totti, he broke his ankle, and he definitely came back and won the highest goal scorer of the league, etc. So these injuries don't necessarily mean that you're not going to be back at your same levels. They could, though.
Well, true, but I have seen enough injuries for a season to suggest that we don't need any more injury-prone players, honestly.
Yeah, we've definitely had a lot of injuries this player. So, tell me something. What do you think that is going to happen in these next 4 games, starting with Juventus?
It's all about the mentality, man. Like, I'm pretty sure if we enter the right mindset and we concentrate on defense, we can actually win this game. Like, I don't know why many people, even on social media, aren't giving us a chance. Just because it's Juventus, I don't know, Ronaldo just scored 2 goals in the last game. Like, I'm pretty sure if Tomori and Kier concentrate on Ronaldo, we're gonna keep him away from scoring. Like, he's not the same player he used to be. He's dangerous, but he's not the same guy. And we need to finish our chances because we're so wasteful. Like, if you waste chances versus Juventus, eventually you're gonna regret it, like we saw with Udinese last game. We need to finish our chances, and I think we can actually win this game. I wouldn't mind a draw though, because even if Napoli win and we draw, we were still above them because of the head-to-head matches. I think we're gonna I think we're gonna win the next 2 games, and I honestly hope it doesn't come down to Atalanta in the last game. Like, I want to actually enter the last game with being calm, like actually enjoying the game. I don't want to sit on my nerves the last game of the season, like what happened in 18-19. I don't want to experience that again.
It's gonna be like this, man.
Seriously.
It's not gonna be a nice path. But that's how you forge a big team. It's suffering. You suffer a lot. They learn the lesson, and they come back stronger for the next season. That's why I think we're gonna make it.
We have to. Like I said in the previous live stream, it's gonna be an embarrassment if we don't make the top 4. Like, the whole world will be laughing at us. Like, having a team with 22 runs on top not make the Champions League. It can't happen.
But that's the thing. We need to get rid of the old world. Who cares? We need to make the right decision, man. That's my opinion.
We have to make the top 4. That's what we have to do.
Yeah,
we cannot afford to lose this season.
If we don't make it, the rest of the world, it doesn't really matter, man. We still need to go in the summer and buy some good players. That's the whole point.
Well, I, for instance, like you said before, I don't really care much about the Donnarumma situation, but not only him. Many players will start questioning the project and the team if we do not make the Champions League. KC himself in an interview said, the most important thing now is to make the Champions League. Like, for example, he's not going to be happy if you're traveling to Rio Ave next season as well, in the Europa League. Yeah, and I will completely understand him, KC, not Donnarumma. We
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah, but we're gonna make it, man. We're gonna make it because I believe we're gonna win against Juventus, like you said. If we play properly, we are concentrated, motivated. We are better than them. We are more team than them.
Yeah, it will also give us like a huge push, a huge motivation. The players will actually be like they will finally believe in themselves when they beat Juve. Like I think
Yeah.
if we win this game, it's 100% sure. Like in my opinion.
Nice
Yeah,
stuff.
this game is going to be absolute key. This game is a key. But it also depends on what the other teams do. So maybe if we lose this game and the other teams that need to lose on Sunday will lose too, maybe it will depend on the next game. But beating
Yeah,
Juventus
but
is going to be the biggest key of them all.
like we're Milan, bro. Like I'm sick of depending on other teams dropping points just for us to be saved
Right.
from arrest. Like
I like that.
I will accept nothing. I will accept nothing less than a draw, because a loss could return us to the fifth position, and it would be a catastrophe. I want at least a draw, like to play well. I will accept a draw.
Yeah.
I completely agree. With you.
Do you live in Italy?
No, I live in Romania, but
Okay.
I went. But I went twice to Milano. I was at the
Okay.
Cagliari game when we won 2-1, and at the Inter game when we lost 4-2. Unfortunately.
Okay. Previous year.
Oh, that was
So
the game when
you-
Milan was winning 2-0, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I battled with the guards to let me cheer with the Milan ultras. They eventually let me in, and we were like happy and singing. And then second half started, and then we hit 4 goals, and it was depressing.
You've been following AC Milan for long, yeah?
Since 2010, I've been a fan.
Okay, that's a lot, yeah. And the worst years, you got the worst years.
The banter years, the Carlos Bacca, the Mbine Yang, the Luis Adriano, these years were tough, I swear.
Man, they are done, man. We are done with those years. I really believe we're gonna go top 4, man.
We are done. I'm gonna say that when Milan is on match 38 in the top 4 positions. I'm not gonna jinx it yet.
True. Well, man,
Nice.
time to go.
All right, Saif. Thank you so much for coming up. Remember, anytime we do these Milan news or just AC Milan lives, we always have people come up and say what they want. So, Saif, this is your second time, right? So, thank you so much. Is there anything you want to add about Milan before we go?
Well, nothing much really, except Forza Milan, and good luck to all the players. They need our support, especially Donnarumma. As much as I hated him the last few months, he still needs our support right now. The most important thing is to make the top 4, and then we're gonna talk about players' future and all that type of shit.
True.
Nice. All right, Saif. Thank you so much, my man. Until the next
Thank you,
one.
man.
Thank you, pleasure.
Take
Thank you.
care. Forza Milan.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Well, Lars, that was a good live we did today. Very nice, very long. I think tomorrow we're doing another one. So hopefully everybody's going to be coming, joining us, and available. And guys, I have great news. Ari is back home. So we will be seeing a lot more of Ari finally. Ari is back. Lars, any last words before we go?
Since Ari left, AC Milan went shit.
Right.
So I'm never gonna let him leave anymore. I don't care, religious reason, family reason. No, it's not moving, man. It's not moving from this channel anymore. AC Milan is more important than anything else. He's not leaving anymore. If he leaves another time, I'm leaving. Cannot handle anymore this month and a half. We had such a bad luck, man. It's like I don't know what to say. Forza Milan, that's it.
Right. Forza Milan. So tomorrow we're going to do another live before the Champions League and then into the Champions League. Hopefully Ari is going to be here with us. So let me just read these last comments and then we're going to finish. The game against Juve that will determine our goal to the Champions League. If we won Juve 100% sure not of that. What? Hold on. The game against Juve that will determine our goal to the Champions League. If we won Juve, I'm 100% sure none of the 3 teams will stop us. Okay. Yes. That makes sense. Che confusione sarà perché tifiamo? È un'emozione che cresce piano piano. Stringimi forte e stammi più vicino e chi non salta è un po' correttino. Is this a song? Is this a song from the Curva?
Oh man, Carlo Moretti.
Carlo, come on the live and sing it for us.
Carlo, just follow us on Twitter, and we follow you on Twitter. So I'm gonna retweet all this stuff. I'm gonna make you part of the Rossoneri tweet.
How can I join this group chat, Hillary or Kali? Just come and see us when we do lives. Right now, we've closed the lines and we're about to finish. But like tomorrow, for example, come and see us tomorrow, and I would love to hear what you've got to say. I need to earn my view. Forza Milan. All right, guys. So, Lance, tomorrow your Chelsea is going to probably beat Real Madrid.
Not sure about it, but there's good chances.
Okay, Larry, let's close on this. Predictions for tomorrow, Chelsea versus Real Madrid. What do you think is going to happen?
I think Chelsea is going to win.
Damn. Just like that, huh?
Yeah, I think it's going to win. And I think Chelsea is going to, in a final against Manchester City, Chelsea is going to win.
Nice. All right. I hope Real Madrid. I guess I want Chelsea to. I don't want Real Madrid to go to 14 Champions Leagues, man. They're going to be impossible to catch up to. That's literally 7 more champions than we have.
You know what it takes to catch up with Real Madrid? It takes to have the next generational talent.
Yeah.
They had that. Barcelona had that. They had a lot of Champions League in the last 10 years.
That's a good
Just
point.
because they had the two biggest talent in the world. That's the only thing.
That's a good point. All right, Lance. And everybody else, arrivederci. Forza Milan. We will see you tomorrow. Ciao.
Forza Milan. Ciao.